I don't know why we're here right now. In this day and age.
Dude.
Come on, man.
We got to get this done. We've avoided Lazz for so long. It's time, man. We just can't avoid it, man. We got to face the music. You know what I mean?
Can I just tell you, we suck at avoiding shit. We can't avoid Rodimus either. So, I mean, it's just... I guess we just got to get this over with.
Yeah.
Why do we have to be here? In this day and age, we should just be able to do Zoom or fucking Skype or something. Even a Discord call.
Dude, he called me directly and said, get your ass in here now. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We got a show to do. I don't care. He said, get in here. We got to talk. This is serious. So,
did you get us canceled?
I don't think so. I mean, I say some stupid shit sometimes. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember, man. I'm fading.
All right, Agnes, is it time for my lunch hour? Wait, why are these two here? You're supposed to tell me when people actually show up. I like Zoom. Why are they here in my office? It's 2023. Zoom. Teams, whatever you want to call it. Alright, just get in here, you two. Let's go.
Fucking told you.
Hey, don't look at me. Hey, Lazz, how you been, man? Long time, buddy.
Yeah, episode 112, yeah. So, I warned you guys what would happen if you didn't periodically keep up with all of the cases and all of the complaints that not only come through Discord, but come straight to my phone. I don't know how all of your community has gotten my personal number. I don't know why I haven't switched it. It's because I'm lazy. I don't know. But this is what happens. I have a couple of pages here of stuff. I tossed some of the stuff out. It was just stupid. And I won't mention their names because they're sad enough as it is. I don't need to go too far further down that. Let's start off with just some of the basic stuff here. Scum Death's Corner, right? You guys love Scum Death's Corner. We all love Scum Death's Corner.
Yeah,
of course.
I have received a complaint that royalty payments have not been going through for Scum Death's Corner, but those royalties are specifically from the corner of his house that he uses for Scum Death's Corner. The corner feels left out. So royalty payments for the corner that he does that in.
Wait a minute. I thought you had that, Hazel. You said you had that covered.
Dude, that's all you, man.
What?
Yeah, royalty stuff is you.
Oh, money. Man. Damn it.
This one's not so much an actual legal case, thank goodness. I don't know how this would get figured out in whatever nebula courts we have now. RNG Gator had just sent me something. He wants to remind everyone that there is 100% a difference between North Carolina and South Carolina. It may not be obvious to people outside of the Carolinas, but there is a difference between the two. Maybe it was all one state at one point. Who knows? I don't know U.S. history, but apparently it bothers him. I haven't seen anything in your guys' Discord where someone's been claiming that they're the same thing, but he just likes to complain every so often. So that's there.
Wait a minute. RNG Greater? Wait a minute. RNG Greater? Is that what you're talking about?
RNG Greater, yeah.
Never heard of him.
It's an upgrade from RNG Gator, or he just moved the letters around. It could be both. Who knows?
Yeah. See, that's another Gator thing. That I'm innocent in this so far. So.
Yeah.
I hope you gents don't mind while I'm speaking to you about this. This is probably my third gin and tonic. It's necessary to do the work. Let's see. Moose, Baron of Titans. Questionable name. He will be legally changing his name so that he may list Last Oil Baron on all of his legal identifications. I had Agnes reach out to ask about this. This was very confusing to me. Apparently it's in his Discord profile or some nonsense. But we're also not really sure if any state outside of Texas will actually, identify the ID or if they'll simply just look at it and laugh. But if it makes him happy, aces, we're all about it.
Sure, I guess, yeah.
Sure. Done.
Trash Panda. Trash Panda is now legally the official sheriff in the GDC Discord. He does not have a physical badge, but we asked him about that, and he said, badges? I don't need no stinking badges. So, yeah, all right. He doesn't need a physical badge. He can call himself the sheriff. Seems legit.
Okay.
Done.
Deal with that. See, we're getting work done. We're getting work done.
This is great.
It's nothing too bad here. See, if you guys would just keep up with this, it's not that hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Dad McNasty. Terrible name. My goodness. Dad McNasty is wanted in 34 states for uttering the phrase, lacuna in public.
What?
That may not seem so terrible, but allow me to explain. So McNasty said he was making a reference to a Destiny subclass because it turns out lacuna is Latin for void. However, when you're just wandering around in public screaming about your void, you can kind of see how the general public might take that a little oddly.
Okay.
So you guys need to kind of rein him in. He's wanted in 34 states and Nova Scotia, unfortunately.
Nova Scotia? Okay.
Yeah. I'll take care of that one.
Oh, good.
Okay,
There we go.
Just wanted to let you guys know Vancouver doesn't care about him, so don't worry about Vancouver.
Okay. Noted.
I hate dealing with Vancouver.
Exactly. Don't be overwhelmed by a lot of the Latin phrases I have going on here because, unfortunately, legal matters still use dead languages. So, Hammer Crasher, you guys like Hammer Crasher, right?
Yeah, love Hammer Crasher.
Of course. Yeah.
So, I've gotten a couple complaints about him, though, because he's going about saying thing. He's going, Locust Standy. And I've been asked, what does this mean? What is he spouting off about? So, Locust Standy, Latin, for place of standing. So that actually means that in court, your locus standi is your capacity to actually bring an action in court. That's for us lawyer types. He apparently thinks that that's what he can say for his standing in the crucible. This is my locus standi, top of the charts. No. That cannot be. He needs to be toned down. No one cares about his locus standi.
Okay. I'll take care of that one. I'll take care of that one.
Okay.
I hate to have to bring this one's name up. Kingsley. Oof.
Uh-oh.
So, Kingsley has actually, he doesn't know this. Kingsley has been found guilty in the lower Nebula Court for conducting, I have to read my notes here on this, malum in se, which is Latin for wrong in itself. I think we're all aware Kingsley is Warlock for life, right? Warlock for life. At least that's what the tramp stamp tattoo says on his lower back there.
How'd you find out about that? Never mind. Go ahead.
Did you get the picture of that too?
Damn it. I wasn't supposed to share that.
I cannot disclose any of that information. But however, the reason why he's guilty of wrong in itself, malum in se, is because he's not playing a warlock this season, and the judge was just very confused as to what happened there. So maybe there was a bet or a deal that we're just not aware of.
I wouldn't know about bets or deals.
No bets or deals. Okay. All right. Well, I'll take your word on that one. Just like the meth lab you supposedly don't have in your basement.
I think that comes standard in Florida.
That is very true. I have a note here. Let's see. It's a note from Hazel. It's actually said, we're supposed to deliver some legal papers to Gate. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. I put a line through that because there's fine print there. Agnes put in that said, you called in and said, fuck that, too much effort. So there's some context there I'm just not aware of. We'll skip that one for now. Now, there's been a lot of trouble with folks who are living in Ohio, Basil, or Ohio's new space colony. I don't know why you guys started a space colony called Ready Player 7. I don't know why you skipped 1 through 6. So you guys need to refrain from pandering, because I know you guys think it's cool. We're just pandering. It's really cool. It's really awesome. No. See, apparently the actual definition of pandering is to act like a pimp. And that's what it's legitimately called in Ohio compelling prostitution, if we're just going to be straight to the point there. So Ohioans and Ready Player 7ers, can we knock it off with that, please? I'm tired of the calls. It's getting a little much.
Why not? I like being a pimp. Is there a state that's legal?
Nova Scotia.
I knew it.
Another one for everyone. This is for everyone in the Discord here. Importuning. So importuning is to press or urge with troublesome persistence. It's to annoy or trouble someone to get them to do something, It's kind of a nicer way of saying, like, force them to do something. Well, it turns out that Discord actually has a policy about importuning, except for when hashtag Team Brittany is attempting to bully other users into joining their cause. I don't know why there's a stipulation for that, but it's there, so there's that.
Brittany can do no harm.
That's pretty much, I think, what the little fine print note says there. Although it looks like it's her handwriting. I have to look into that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No. 3 more, and then we're good here. So Mrs. Panda, my office came across this one. She was starting a whole debate about sandwiches and square sandwiches versus triangle sandwiches. It looks like square sandwiches have more size. Matter can either be destroyed, or created. Square sandwiches are the same size as triangle sandwiches unless you purposely cut the crusts off, which is cheating. It's all the same size.
No comment.
Uh-huh. Now, here's a big one. The Goop Troop. You guys know the Goop Troop.
Yeah. We're part of the Goop Troop.
Yeah,
You're part of the Goop Troop, so this applies to you.
Uh-oh.
So there's a Galactic Council for the review of bitchin' ass names. We know that's long. We're going to try to get them to change that. So they wanted to give you guys an award for your name. That's a really great name amongst the galaxy and the universe in general. Everyone loves that name. Except that they looked up what goop meant outside of your guys' implied term for it in Destiny, and they decided that they needed to backtrack because they were going to get too many complaints from those who don't see goop as a Destiny term, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Damn, we were close.
You were close.
Good luck changing that. Understood. Yeah.
I got one more here, and this is an oldie. We're talking like 16th century style bullshit here.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Lazz. My wife says that there's an emergency. I got to get home. Hazel, you got this, right, man? You got this stuff? Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Your phone didn't even buzz.
It's on vibrate. Yeah, I just talked to her. I had to turn away, and I talked to her when she said 911. I said, I gotta go. So I'm sorry, man. You got this. No, you got it, man.
No.
You got this.
No.
I believe in you. Good luck.
Hey, so where were we?
Is someone gonna tell him the divorce papers went through?
I thought you were gonna lead with that.
Oh, you're right. Wow, I had that written as the first item. How did I miss that? Oh, shit. This damn Jin.
That's the reason why I was here.
Whoopsies. Well,
You didn't have the last one about getting Respawn to fill in for him from going forward?
That's a tough subject.
Whoa, I'm sorry. Did somebody say Respawn? What was this?
What? Huh?
I forgot my wallet. I had to come back and get it. What about Respawn? What's going on?
I'm a little confused. Where were you carrying your wallet? You're not wearing pants.
I thought we were doing a Zoom call.
Well, I said Zoom call, which is why I'm just in my bathrobe, but it's tied off at least. You have a lot of explaining to do with the undergarments there.
But back to no one respawns.
Hey, where's that transporter at so I can, get out of here?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm not even worried about this last item. You guys have a lot on your plate. And to be completely honest, I'm out of gin now, so I officially no longer have to deal with you guys right now. So, Agnes, get me more gin, please. And, just check in more often, okay? That way this list isn't so super long. Okay, great.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for spending your day with us. Welcome to episode 202 of Guardian Downcast, a Destiny podcast. Hey, if you love to play the game Destiny 2, you've come to the right place. We're a couple of gamer dads that have played Destiny since that day one beta back in 2014, and we're just as passionate about it today as we were back then. We discuss key topics, news, and within the gaming community, so you can be in the loop and not only seek the stories of Destiny content creators, but we're a podcast that gives a voice to the stories of our Destiny community members out there. And in this game, that's what it's all about. We're the show that asks, are you diving deep in the dungeon? Sorry, that's all I come up with. I'm your host, Todd, the Gator, and my co-host Hazel is here as well. Hey, man. How you been?
Doing a little better. So for anybody who doesn't know, ever since basically February, our internet has been pretty much crap.
Yeah.
So this weekend, my wife went out to Colorado with her kids. So it was me and the dog all weekend long.
That's right.
So I was planning on getting some good gaming in and everything else and it didn't happen because our internet was basically down pretty much all weekend.
What?
Yeah.
That sucks.
So, you and I tried to do the dungeon.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my internet died. It was down for the rest of the night until basically 11 a.m. the next morning.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was great. But on Monday, I got this guy had to come out. He checked it. He even climbed up into our attic and everything else. And now it's all running fine. So
I hate when that happens.
Whatever magic he worked, it's that. And also I had to buy a new router. That was great. I'm glad to hear that. So yeah. Yep.
I always hate it. They go up in the attic. All of a sudden it's working. You're like, what'd you do? Oh, nothing. I'm like, dude, what'd you do? Got to tell me what you did, man. No, it was fun.
Yeah, no, this guy told me. He's like, apparently we had a line up like in our attic that we never even go to. Oh. And there was a line up there. And
so we're using like an old line? And he got you on a better line, or I don't know.
No, it was there was a line up there, and I mean he either like he said he capped it off, whatever the hell that means, and and that. So yeah, cool. I'm like, okay, as long as my shit works, I'm good.
Yeah.
So my shit works. So I'm pretty happy. I was able to actually do some shit and not get kicked off. So it was great.
Dude, a gamer without internet is just like not having air. It's terrible.
I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, good week. Internet worked fine. Just reporting in.
Smart ass.
Sorry, had to. No, it's been busy week. I'm tired. I know people are tired of hearing me saying that, but it's just my busy season right now. And I'm getting home, man. This sun is zapping me. It's just been close to 90 now every day, and the sun's like right on you. Like 3 feet from you. It's just crazy hot, and yeah, you better wear sunscreen. Those of you coming down here to GCX, you better wear sunscreen. Don't make the mistake. You'll be fried in no time. But yeah, been a good week. I tell you what though, Hazel, we have a returning guest on the show tonight.
Ooh, who is it?
This guy, he's our space lawyer. He's probably been charging us while he's playing the back nine at his local course, I bet. By the way, if you want to hear his full story, he's been on episode 10 and 112. Yeah, I said that right. Episode 10. It's our pal, Lazarus the Lich, or we just call him Lazz. How you been, man?
I've been pretty good, man. Episode 10, the newer people of the Discord are going to go, oh my God, he's so old.
Oh man, it's been dude, it's been great. I mean, ever since I remember you wrote the ads on Barely a Destiny show. And I remember when you wrote the first ad and it mentioned I was listening to their show. I would listen to it every week. And I heard our name on there. I texted Hazel, said, dude, there was just an ad about us and on Barely a Destiny show, dude. And, then I found out later from Steve that was you, man. You wrote those ads. So props to you, man. You're the one that helped get us started long, long ago. So.
It's one of those things that I've always liked writing. Like sometimes you just get thoughts in your head, and sometimes it helps just write them out so you can either look at them and go, wow, that's insane, or go, hey, that's actually pretty funny. And then you just kind of, roll with it. So when they asked for an ad writer, I was like, just read what I have and let me know if it sucks or not.
Dude, those ads were gold. They were so creative. I mean, really good. So yeah, I'd like to tell you to go back and listen to them, but I don't think that show's on the air anymore. So. But
good question. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if they kept them in the archive or not. I'm not sure. I know you have to keep it up with your host. I'm not sure how they did that. But well, here's what we have on tap this week, everyone. First, we're going to catch up with Lazz, see how he's been. Maybe a slight introduction, maybe like a little speed run interview, kind of. It's been a while, so we figured we would introduce you to our newer members in there. We're going to test Lazz's Twitch reflexes in our new and further improved fast fire question and answer segment we call. Oh yeah, it's a speed run. Hazel's going to go over the massive TWAB this week for the second week of Season of the Deep. And we'll also, it is very girthy. Oh, I like that word. And we'll also discuss our topic of the week. And finally, we're going to answer your questions for the show via our questions for the show Discord channel and our voicemails, which is speakpipe.com/Guardian Downcast if you want to leave us a voicemail. And of course, what would make our show more complete than another Scumdesk Corner as well. So let's roll. Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. You can find us on Twitter at Guardian_D_cast.
Or you can find us on our Instagram at Guardian_Down_cast and see what picks our weekly guests want to share with you. Or, you know what? Just visit our website at guardiandowncast.com for all of our contact information and where else you can find us to play any past episodes you like in any order you like, right from your browser.
Man, don't or me. Hey, Guardians, while you're at it, follow our Guardian Downcast show playlist. We have it on Spotify and Apple Music. We post these links in our show description every week. So check us out. And later, Guardian.
Toddles.
Oh, come on, man. Not the toddles again.
What's wrong with the toddles?
Nothing, I guess.
Yeah, if you don't like it, you can always edit it out.
Yeah, I'll edit it. Okay. So, Mr. Lazarus the Lich, do you still call yourself that, by the way? That was your original name when you first joined our Discord. Do you go by something else now?
No, I'm pretty much still Lazz. I think it's just been the easiest thing to go by. The rest of it's like changed every time. Like Xbox would send out an email and go, "Hey, you can change your name for free if you want to." Like, oh, okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Lazz has always been there.
Yeah, that's two Z's, by the way, everyone. That's how I always see it anyway. But how you been, man? I mean, it's been a long time since you've been on our show, and I got, I think you sent in a speak pipe or something, and it kind of just reminded me, man, we have not had Lazz on in a long time, so we need to catch up with him and see how he's been. So, what's new in your life since episode 112?
Well, let's see. So episode 112, that was September 2021. So in the house that I'm currently in, so that didn't change.
Good.
Yeah, actually, Hazel and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. So we are now, my workplace is fully back to 5 days a week. So for those of you that don't know, when I'm not space lawyering, I actually do water quality science in an actual lab. So now we're back to 5 days a week. Although that hasn't changed all that much, it's still the same old song and dance with all of that. But I've been getting slowly back into the Discord groove, which is why you mentioned the speak pipes every now and then, because I'll jump into Discord and be like, oh yeah, it's speak pipe time. All right, let's go. And that's mostly because a lot of my brain power is devoted to keeping my now 6-year-old and now 4-year-old kids alive and not trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of been life in a nutshell: is work, kids, all the weekend activities that come along with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still finding time every so often to, occasionally play the back nine. Sometimes the front nine if I'm feeling a little saucy there. Sometimes you got to play that front nine, not just the back. But yeah, golf is still pretty big in there. I'm always looking to try to get better and then failing at it miserably because that's how the game works.
Very humbling game.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think someone asked, I'm trying to remember who wanted me to ask this, but what is your handicap now?
Ooh, I'm not afraid to admit this. So it is officially 21 right now.
Not too shabby. That's bogey golf, isn't it? Pretty much.
It's pretty close to it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The handicap system's interesting because you would think somebody, let's say they have a 5 handicap, you go, oh, that's a really good golfer. Mm-hmm. But then you go and make them play either in a different area of the U.S. or even outside the U.S. Mm-hmm. and their score doesn't reflect the 5 handicap. And it's because a lot of guys handicap, and gals, guys and gals, their handicaps reflect them being locals and playing on the same course, which once you're used to it, you master it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm fine with the 21. It's a wide variety of things from Florida, South Carolina, up to New York by me. So I'm not too upset with it.
No, I think I sit at probably a 27, probably. I have my good games, but I'm usually a bogey plus golfer. So, hey, it's fun, dude. I just love being out there doing it. Not in the summer, but in the winters are gorgeous in Florida. Yeah.
I played in August last year. I had a long weekend. I actually played Disney golf down there.
That's some nice courses, man. Got money?
Nice courses, but you forget sometimes it's Florida, so you're like, oh, I'm gonna duck in the golf cart. It's shaded. Nope, doesn't matter. Humidity.
Yeah, it goes with you as soon as you walk out the door.
Oh God, yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah. See, I'm glad I don't play golf. I tried once, and my father-in-law was just he's like, I think you need to stick with mini golf. So,
yeah.
It's an expensive hobby too if you like to golf a lot of new places.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in my little office here, I've got the monitors here, and then up above them, my wife designed a bulletin board that has a map of the United States, and it says as far as the eye can see. And my objective before I get to a point where I cannot physically swing a golf club anymore is to play around in every state in the U.S.
Hell yeah, dude! What a worthy goal. That's sweet.
And what's nice about it, it's not about scoring well. I would like to score well, but it's more about just like having the scorecard and saying, yeah, I went to Idaho. I'll probably never go back to Idaho, but I went to Idaho.
You collect the scorecards? You keep them in a collection?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've got the Lake Buena Vista golf course, Florida one with there's a big circle around the one birdie I had. I was like, I'm circling the crap out of this one. Yes, birdie.
Yeah. Nice.
That's
dude.
awesome.
Nice.
Life goals, yes, exactly.
Nice. How many states have you been to so far for that?
So let's see. Florida, South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, and Connecticut so far.
Nice. Respectable.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite course by chance?
Ooh.
You might be judged.
Oh, I probably will. My favorite one, well, ironically, my favorite one is the one that's literally a 3-minute drive from my house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a Irish Links style golf course, so there's barely any trees around. So when the wind blows, you feel that nonsense everywhere. So
you have big rocks and stuff everywhere too, just like the Irish courses.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's a pain in the neck. You hit what you think is a good shot. You get down there and you're like stuck behind a big tree. You're like, where did this bounce? And you're like, oh, the big rock in the center of the fairway. Cool.
I know.
All right.
There you go. There's your realism.
Exactly.
That's awesome. All right, Mr. Lazz, got a question for you. I actually got two. The first one here, we're going to go a little bit out of order. Why do you video game?
So, I've reflected on this recently. So I video game because I've basically been video gaming since I was probably 5 or 6 and just never stopped. Like I had a bit of a brief downtime when I moved up here to New York and I wasn't really playing. There weren't any games out at the time. But then when my kids were born, and as you guys know, kids don't know about sleeping at 2 a.m. They're up and awake.
Yep.
And so that was the time I started playing a lot more like Destiny, for example, because it was 1 a.m. and I needed to do something to keep myself awake so I could help my kids get to sleep. And so it kind of brought me back into the gaming world to the point where I have, like most everyone does, a backlog of games because, you know, you have that comfort zone of games you play and you just never really kind of break from it. Even when somebody says, check out this new like Zelda game, you're like, oh yeah, that's great. Whatever. Season of the Deep though, whatever. But yeah, I've been playing various gaming systems and PCs since, age 5 or 6. And the hell, I can remember the first game I played was it was some tennis game on the Atari.
Pong?
And yeah, that was, I don't know if that was what it was called or not.
That was the very first game they came out with on the 2600 was actual Pong. Okay. Literally two flat sticks that you slide up and down.
Oh, Pong. No. See, I heard something different for some reason in my head. I was like, no, I don't know, maybe. No, it was
actual tennis game?
I don't remember the name of it, but it looked like a legitimate, like a red shirt tennis player at the top of the screen. You moved back and forth.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
It was just like Pong, but you had a tennis actual person.
Yeah, and they had turned it, so instead of left to right, it was more like top to bottom. I think you could move into the net on there, but I want to say that was something they didn't implement. They were like, hey, we're just lucky to get the ball to go back.
Yeah, I'm very limited back in those days on what you could do in any dimension. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
Nice. And then next question is, so I guess that kind of answered a little bit, but how'd you find Destiny?
So, I was living in Virginia, and I was PC gaming at the time. So I'm the oldest of 4, so there was a lot of like me kind of fending for myself because I was the oldest, and my parents were like, well, yeah, you've got your games, right? I'm like, yeah, leave me alone. Just don't talk to me, I'm fine. And at the time, Halo was out on PC, and I spent more of time not doing the main story, but like doing multiplayer, or you could there was an official mode, I think, where you could like race with the warthogs around the maps instead of actually shoot at each other. And so I really got to like the Bungie games at that point. And then I think I had moved up? Yeah, I'd moved up to New York in 2011, and all of a sudden there was this couple of years later, there was this announcement of, Bungie's made this new game. And I thought, I like Halo. I like Bungie. What's this all about? And so I was an OG guy for the beta, and then for, obviously, the original Destiny 1 back when Endgame wasn't a thing. You finished the story and you kind of just ran around, which if you told people nowadays that's what it was, they'd like drop dead probably. But yeah, I liked Bungie's style, their gunplay and all of that, and I thought, yeah, I'll give this Destiny a try. And here I am now, still playing Destiny 2 years later.
Hey, Lazz, just curious. Have you played the Season of the Deep?
I have indeed, yes.
What do you think about it, man?
So far, you guys know I'm a big story kind of person, which sometimes you do have to delve into lore books and stuff outside a game to kind of get the whole like context of everything. So far everything in Season of the Deep is really interesting. Like I have these like little thoughts flowing through my head about Sloane and all of that, because it's a bit interesting. But I know some people will get tired of the seasonal activity, just they think it's rinse and repeat. But honestly, like I'm a big like visual guy, so all the new like armor ornaments and stuff like that always keep me coming back. So plus it's fun. I'll get my kids to like jump on with me and be like, all right, kids, you have 5 pages of shaders. Pick one.
Nice. I like that.
5 pages? Like, yeah, just come on. They're all fun. Pick one. Jeez.
Okay. We need to make this a signature question, Hazel. Really. Do you go fishing?
I have been fishing, and I did. Which one was it? It had been slim pickings at the EDZ, and what was the other one that was slim pickings? Like not enough people there to get you to full bar. But I know that Savathun's Throne World, there was about 7 of us randos there, and we got the bar full, and one of them caught the exotic one. I forget which one the exotic fish was from that one. And then the next day I logged back in, and I'm like, my journey's pinging there. So I've got something I've got to click on there. And I looked at it, I'm like, caught an exotic fish. I didn't catch an exotic fish. I wasn't drinking gin that night. What's going on here? But yeah, I kind of like it because it's an interesting way to just kind of break up the running around and running and gunning. You're kind of like, oh yeah, I can get more guns from this if I just get some fish there.
Yeah. Fallout Plays just put a video out on how to alleviate that problem. You know, when the public event pops up and your fishing hole disappears. Oh yeah. He says you don't pick up any of your fish, and usually he says to go in a fire team and have one of your buddies go and take care of the public event, get it done quickly. Just do the regular one, get it done. And then when the new fishing hole appears, that person who did the public event goes over to the new fishing hole, establishes there, and when you pick up all the fish because you're in the same fire team as him, it goes toward the bar. And it's a legendary exotic. Yep. I think those are the 2, Hazel, that count toward the bar.
Right. Yep.
That was a good tip. I was starting to do that. Start leaving the fish because I was tired of walking in front of everyone to pick up the damn fish. I was like, maybe it's a joystick issue. Maybe I need to hold longer on the square button when I'm yanking them out of the water. And it didn't matter. But I tell you, the one fishing hole that I think is the hardest to get to is the one on the Throne World, man. You got to go all the way to the end of the Throne World to get to that fishing hole. And
yeah, it's far out there.
I did fish. So I think I put an hour and a half in, and I did get 2 exotics. So it's easy to get if you have a lot of people. I think I had 5 people with me. No one was in my fire team, just by myself. So, shit, who am I kidding? Hazel, how much fishing did you do this week, man?
Oh, I did a fuck ton. I was in there with Sin and Kato.
Nice.
Yeah, the three of us, we were fishing like crazy, and we found out that, like, we heard, like, you know, like rumors, how it's like, oh, well, you know, you can't shoulder charge someone who's fishing or else you'll die.
Yes, I found that out.
You can't run your sparrow through because they'll die. I'm like, what? So we tested all of this.
No griefing.
Sure enough, you know, you will die if you bring your sparrow through there and everything else. So
nice.
So yeah, but yeah, I did a shit ton of fishing this weekend. So
well, Lazz,
it's my favorite thing so far.
What have you been doing this last week? We'll just go around the horn here. See what everybody's been doing this week. We always do that on our show. What's been the thing that's been really keeping your attention this week 2?
So my modus operandi the past several seasons has been really hopping in and doing the weekly seasonal story, and then if I have time, I've kind of been like working on like exotic catalysts and just kind of running around and completing different like seasonal title tasks. Like Aquanaut just sounds like a cool title to have. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna knock this one out. Like I thought I was gonna do it last season because I'm a big fan of Marasov, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't actually. You still can act technically, but now that Season of the Deep is out, it's kind of hard to backtrack and be like, yeah, let me go focus on some of this Queen's Guard stuff that you could do. So that's kind of, and also I forgot about this because I played Titan last season. I'm like, I'm going to do Warlock this season. And then I realized, oh crap, I've got to do the Lightfall campaign and get the Strand unlocked. Ah! So I spent a good, I think my wife was out of town, so we weren't going to watch any TV. I was like, obviously, so I'm like, okay, perfect. I'll binge the Strand stuff and get that done.
Yeah, that takes a lot of time. I'm still working on getting the rest of it for my Hunter. I haven't even touched my Titan yet. Poor Titan's sitting there going, hey man, you going to give me some fragments here? What are you doing? But
it's like the Beyond Light stasis stuff all over.
Oh
again,
no, it's not that bad. My God, man.
It's a little better, yeah.
Stasis was those. I still, oh God, I get shiver just thinking about those. I feel for those new members who come in that just haven't played and they want to get Stasis. All right, fine. What have you been doing, Hazel? What have you been doing this week, man? I know you didn't have internet for the weekend, but did you get something done?
Yeah. So I think it was Sunday night. Sunday night. I ended up doing a raid. It was Sin's initiation into the Goop Troop.
Sin, really? Well, he's really lobbying, isn't he? I love
he
it.
was, yes, he is.
Wow.
Yeah. So we did that, and we did a Ron raid, and I'm trying to think what it was. It was him and Wormwood. They ended up getting the shotgun, the collective obligation.
Really?
Or the conditional finality. One of those.
I gotta get that still.
Yeah. So 2 people got it with me, and it was, you know, I'm okay with it. You know, it's just one of those things.
I don't use shotguns, so I won't miss it. But still, it's just the principle.
I want it though. I want it because I see everybody else using it, and it just looks so badass.
You know why I want it? I want it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of Princess showing it to me in Crucible all day. It's getting old.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Wormwood's going to break his out too, so just be prepared.
All right.
So,
yeah. What else? What else you do?
But I did the dungeon.
Yes.
I ended up doing that. It was Soccer and Converse.
Nice.
They were both like, "Hey, we need one more," and I was like, "I guess I've got time, so sure, why not?" So yeah, I ended up doing that. I think it was Monday night.
Okay.
And it was pretty fun to do. I thought it was okay. I'm still on the fence with it. I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know why. Something about it, it doesn't ring true to me for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. But yeah, so there's that. And yeah, I love the armor though from it.
Yeah. 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 Wow.
So Yeah. What about you?
Well, I indeed did the raid. It felt like a raid, but I did do the dungeon. In fact, you and Panda and myself, we all got together and said, hey, let's run the first week, man. Let's run it together. We'll learn it. And Panda had already gotten it clear. So he was kind of our interim Sherpa to help us out. And man, that's a great guy, man. That guy really is a great Sherpa. But anyway, he, so much patience, with my old ass in there. But we ran the first encounter, me, you, and, Panda. And then we got the second one. Did we do this? Yeah, we got the second one done too, right? Man.
Nope, not with me.
You didn't make it to that one. Yeah, it was a jumping puzzle getting to that you got burnt.
No, it was in the second or in the boss encounter is where it
finally booted you.
So.
Yeah. Oh, I remember now because me and Panda were trying to do it, just the two of us. But, our buddy Moose jumped in to help out and, he took over your spot. And, I have to say that second encounter is a pain in the ass. That boss is beefy. My goodness. It took forever. I think it took us 5 phases to get him finally. And, but it was so much fun. Oh my God. And Panda finally got me to use Get Away from Strand and used, he gave me a void, setup without Grafalcons. I didn't have Grafalcons, but he said, do you have a gun with repulsor brace? I'm like, yeah, I think I got a sidearm. He goes, perfect. He got me all set up with that. And I felt like a god. I couldn't be killed, dude. Anybody tried to kill me, I had Devour. And as soon as I dodged, I was invis. So I was like, no one can see me. No one can touch me. Boom, you're dead. End of story. And, I had a great dude. I had so much fun. Well, then the jumping puzzle was a little tedious, but it was so beautiful, man. The art direction, the art team did such a great job on the underwater scenes and stuff. I think I've got a couple calcium fragments on the way. We didn't get them all, but the last encounter, it took me a few times to figure out the mechanic because it's a little busier on that last one. But Panda and Moose were champs, dude. Anyway, I finally figured it out. And we all figured it out, got it done. I think it took us 6 phases. I'm guessing maybe 5 or 6 phases, and we finally got it done. But wow, what a dungeon! It's my favorite by far. I mean, nothing's even close. Spire, I know, only ran once. I know I don't have much to compare there, but this dungeon feels so relevant to what's going on in the season right now. And that's maybe why I'm attaching myself to it more. I can't wait to run it again. And, I did not get the exotic. Didn't get any luck there, but just want to give, Trash Panda and, Moose a shout out because, they did a great job, getting this old fart through. So now I know how to do it. And, just wow. What a bravo, Bungie. Great job on this one. This was, really, really fun. It felt like a raid to me because the mechanics were not overly complicated, but it was enough. I mean, the ads, they just kept coming, man. And, the ad density was definitely on point, but some of the bosses were a little beefy in my opinion. That's the only thing I had a thing with. But here's the thing I love about dungeons, Hazel, over raids. No revive tokens. As soon as I died, I was like, oh crap. We got to wipe now because Moose doesn't have a token. And Moose is like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, there's no tokens. I'm like, oh, that's right. And there's no enrage. So however many times it takes you to kill the boss and move on to the next segment or section or finish it, however long it takes you. As long as one of you guys stays alive. It's so much, dude. I love dungeons so much more than raids. God, did I just say that?
You make me sick.
I'm a little punch drunk because I'm still on a high from that dungeon. It was just so much fun. But, yeah, I mean, I started playing a little bit Iron Banner this week. Iron Banner's been rough, man. It's been, I have not had any good outings yet on Iron Banner. It's been rough. I'm hovering around the 191 to 2 KDA, but man, it has been hard fought to get to that point. There were a lot of games I had a 0.5, a 0.7. It was embarrassing. And it just, I don't know if there's less people playing now and there's just all the hardcore people left, or maybe I just need to play more Crucible because I might just be getting rusty as hell. But in any case, Iron Banner has been tough, but I've been playing that as well this week. So Anything else as far as what we've been doing this week before I move on? Lazz, anything? Anything you want to mention? What do you guys, all right, well, have you run the dungeon yet, Lazz?
I actually hadn't. So going into Lightfall.
I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, no. Well, ironically, you guys were talking about it, and I pulled it up on my monitor. I was like, let me just buy the silver I need for the dungeon key.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I know they changed that, didn't they?
Well, it has a lot of lore implications, too.
It's a ton of lore, man.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing, too. Knowing what we were talking about tonight, I watched the video, and I was like, oh, my God, this dungeon looks so good.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh, dude, I'll run it with you anytime.
Yeah, I was on the Guardian Hub and last night. And, I mean, Dez was just over the moon.
I bet he was.
I mean, he was like a kid in a candy store with all the lore and everything. And yeah, we go down some rabbit holes. It was fun.
Nice, man. Nice. What do you think? Signature questions, Hazel? We'll move on to the TWAB.
Actually, I had a question for Lazz.
Go for it.
Real quick here.
Sure.
So Lazz, you said that Bungie is basically what brought you into Destiny. Mm-hmm. Do you have any interest in Marathon?
Good question.
So Marathon was on my list of games that I wanted to like go back and play because I hadn't played it before. And then mostly because all of our minds kind of got distracted when 2020 rolled around, and it like any backlogs we had became even more backlogged. And at one point I was like, oh yeah, Marathon, I want to go play that. I had that installed on Xbox Game Pass. My wife just shaking her head like, no idea what you're talking about, whatever. And it wasn't Marathon, it was Myst. I'm like, shit, wrong M word. But I have watched the trailer. Mm-hmm. It looks really awesome, I'm not going to lie. And I know right now it's just PvP, like extraction style stuff, like Escape from Tarkov, which isn't really my bag, but I'm willing to give anything a shot. Once at least. Like I didn't think I would like Overwatch, but I liked it after I played it, so you never know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. I gotta ask him this. I don't know if you listened to last week's show, Lazz, but Hazel and I think that in 8 to 12 months, this game will be released. What did we say? Fall 2024? Is that what we agreed on? What do you think about that assessment? You think that's too early or right on time or what?
You guys are saying fall 2024?
Yeah. About I don't know what.
Yes.
We'll be over 12 months from now, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So a little over a year from now.
So I would like so normally if Bungie was still independent, I would have a different thought process, but Sony owns them now, so I'm not 100% certain. But after the tumultuous release that was Redfall recently, and after the really terrible release of Cyberpunk 2077 when it first came out, it's better now.
Right.
I would hope that Bungie / Sony would be like, okay, we do not want to screw this up. And Sony, like, I would hope Sony would go to Bungie and say, is it ready to go? And Bungie would say, you know what? We still need, let's say, like 3 months. Okay, great. Take 3 months, because the last thing they want to do is release something like that and just have it not hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. Like, especially because everything I've read about Diablo 4, which just came out for early access, is that it's just hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is what every AAA studio wants. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Microsoft just missed terribly with Redfall, I think should be a nice indicator to the rest of the industry. Like, take your time. Make sure it's good to go before you're like, yeah, here it is. Have fun.
Yeah.
So, fall 2024, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. But I do hope that if they hit, like, let's say it's August 2024 and they feel like there's still work to be done, just do the work that needs to be done. Don't release the thing and be like, yeah, we'll fix it later. Like, just take your time. Let it bake some more if it needs to.
Right. We've heard, I've heard around the community that some folks don't think it's going to be just PvP, that there's going to be some kind of ARG involved in it, or some kind of built-in community, what's the word, events or something. What do you think? Do you think that's out of the realm, or Do you think what you see is what you get?
I think this kind of lines up to, like, I follow a lot of the Destiny, like, writers and stuff like that, and all the stories they put out over the past couple of years. And one of the big stories was how they feel like PvP has really kind of not gotten the love that it used to get.
Oh, that's an understatement.
Right. And combine that with the fact that Bungie was putting out, like, job postings for a new IP and with, like, a PvP focus, and people started to put the dots together and were like, Bungie's going to come out with some sort of PvP thing. Like, one of the rumors was it was going to be like a Destiny, like, hero shooter, like Overwatch, where like you would choose like Cade 6, you choose like Korra, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I think it sounds like most of the PvP team was working on Marathon.
Yes, most of the big guys, at least the ones I know of.
Yeah, most of the big ones. So I think they'll start off with just PvP.
Okay.
Because they've got a lot of PvE stuff going on with Destiny right now, and I feel like that's one of their strong suits with the game right now. So I think Marathon will stay more as a PvP style one.
All right, I have one follow up. I know, Hazel. I just have to know your opinion on this. And Hazel and I talked about this last week as well. Okay, so we know, give or take, February, March, that the final shape's coming out, right?
Yep.
2 questions. When the Final Shape campaign comes out, do you think it'll be one and done, or you think they're going to stretch it out with the seasons all the way through to the first of the year again? And my second question is Crucible going to be there when they do it?
Fucking question.
I know. I'm sorry, Hazel. I have to ask. It's been on my mind.
I think because they've basically stated that the Final Shape is meant to be the end of the Light Dark saga, I think that only makes sense from a story perspective if you do have the Final Shape just be the Final Shape. Like, we had Lightfall, and then we had the season that came with it. I think that if they truly intend Final Shape to be the final chapter of Destiny 2, then they have to basically just release a giant expansion and go, this is it, guys. Let's assume for a second that the ending of Final Shape is we fight the Witness, basically. And, if we defeat the Witness, that's the end of the story. You could probably still load back in and still, like, explore the various worlds and all that, but I can't imagine what other story elements they would have, because probably the follow-up to Final Shape would either be like a brand new trilogy or something, or Destiny 3 or something. So
right.
I would imagine, there has to be an end. Crucible, would Crucible still be there? I feel like Crucible always, it's kind of weird. Like, you go through these various seasons and they're like, take, for example, was it Season of the Warmind, was it called? When the Almighty was, like, about to crash into us?
Yeah, the live event.
Yeah, but meanwhile, you could still go and Crucible it up, which you know is just Guardian versus Guardian to basically say, like, I'm a better player than you are. Right. Meanwhile, the Almighty's coming down. You're like, yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be fine, whatever.
Crucible's always been like just something. It's like, it's like set aside. Like, here's your PvP. Here it is. It never feels like it's part of the. I don't know, man.
Shaxx really does have the best deal. It's like, oh man, like the Hive are about to like invade the last city, for example, or whatever, and Shaxx is like, I'm running the Crucible still, and you're like, oh, all right, whatever, cool. We didn't need you anyways.
Exactly. You don't see him in any cutscenes. That's for damn sure.
Exactly. Outside of like his badass moment in Destiny 2, in vanilla Destiny 2, and he was like, take this gun and go. And you're like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yep. Yeah, he talks at the end of every show. He talks to us. So, All right, sorry, I'm not trying to go down a rabbit hole. It's just this has been bugging me, man.
But Gator, I mean, do you really think they're taking Crucible out of it then?
I know we're going to know August 22nd. Hopefully.
No. Don't give me that bullshit.
Well,
I fucking asked you a question.
I know you did.
Give me a direct answer.
Fuck. You know me all too well.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You don't know.
I don't know because here's the thing,
man.
Here's the thing. Crucible is shit right now. It's a freaking bonfire. It's a dumpster fire.
It should be right now.
I mean, my God, there's a new glitch now for Iron Banner where you can end the match in a minute and win. I mean, really?
There's no reason for it to not be shit right now.
I just don't know who's going to be on board. I don't see Tom Cotton coming back to help Crucible after Marathon's coming out. So I don't know, man. I don't know who's there right now. I mean, wait a minute. Now I do know Mercules and Chris
Proctor.
Chris Proctor with I think they're holding down the fort right now, but they've got to be looking around going, wow, we're running this. So I don't know, man.
You don't think they know this?
Oh, I know. This is nothing new, but this is why I'm doubting if Crucible is going to be around after the final shape. I know what you said. I know what you said last week. Hey, dip your toe in the Crucible. It's an arena shooter. And then if you really want to get serious, we got Marathon coming out. I get that, man. I do. But
because Gator, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Marathon is not going to appease everyone.
I thought about that. Today. My mind's been racing today about this. What if, Hazel?
Great. Here it comes.
What if they have an arena part of Marathon? They have different game types in Crucible. Why wouldn't they have different game types in Marathon? What's holding them back from doing that? And then there's your arena shooter. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Gator, I just think you need to rein it in some because, I mean, with it, it's that, Bungie wants to focus on the extraction piece.
Yeah.
So they have to tune it perfectly.
Oh, I get it. I get that. But
so for them to come up with, some other, arena shooter thing or something like this.
Call it the firing range. Call it a practice range or practice or scrims or something.
But man, the thing is though, is that, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to take Crucible out of Destiny 2.
All right. I'm sorry. I had to ask Lazz. I just had to see what he thought. I know. I'm beating a dead horse. I hear Rodimus already. Jesus, get to the point.
Yeah, it's just painful to hear you talk about this because, I mean, you're making it sound like Bungie is just going to separate it completely. And for PvP players, they're only going to play Marathon. They're not going to play Destiny anymore and things like this. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I mean, you think about it. Let's just say 1 million concurrent on a good day for Bungie. How many of that 1 million is playing Crucible? 100,000, 200,000, maybe. It's not a whole lot, man. I mean, look where their time and money is being put right now. It's in dungeons. It's in seasons, live events. We got one new map and one new gun in Iron Banner. I do like the
reprised map too.
Yes, and I like the fusion rifle. It's gives me some Destiny 1 vibes a little bit.
The fuck are you talking about?
There's a new fusion rifle in Iron Banner. I know you haven't been playing, but
I didn't even mention the fusion rifle or any of the weapons. I just said you had a reprised map.
Right. But dude, how many times are we going to play Dead Cliffs and get spawn trapped in it and never be able to see the other part of the map because everyone's played it so many times? It's just, I'm just having my doubts. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on.
You're being negative again.
I know. I'm going down a spiral. I love PvP and I'm worried. I'm a little worried. All right.
Oh my God, man. It's fucking PvP.
I know. You don't value it like I do. I know it's not you're a PvE guy. I get it. But
I mean, no, I still play Crucible every now and then too.
I know.
But I mean, I play it as Shaxx intended.
Right.
Basically to go out and just shoot shit and have fun. That's how I treat Crucible. I don't treat it like it's some competitive thing because it's not.
Yeah. Okay. I understand.
I mean, it's just, if even Fluffy said it, is that, if you're looking for like something like top tier and Crucible and that kind of thing and competitive, you need to look elsewhere. There's CS:GO, there's I mean, Marathon coming out and that kind of thing. But I mean, you got to face the facts, man. You're wanting something that's just not going to happen.
You're going to get a better PvP experience in Rocket League than you are in...
You're right. You're right. I mean, I bet you I can even... I God forbid I ever say this, but I could probably go and play Warzone and probably have a better PvP experience sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, I'm...
except for the lobby.
Yeah, it's whatever, man. But anyway, I just had to ask Lazz. But hey, why don't we do some signature questions and we'll move on to our next segment here.
Yeah. Listeners, I'm sorry I asked the question about
I'm sorry.
It led to all that.
I'm sorry. I had a feeling it was coming.
It was a marathon of a conversation.
See what he did there?
Yeah, and I need more alcohol. I may have to hit the gin now.
Want some gin? I'll send it through the Discord.
Hazel needs some Crucible juice.
I do. I just am sorry to all the listeners for that.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Signature questions, Mr. Lazz. So, do you have any hobbies aside from gaming and golf?
So I mentioned earlier that I do some writing, but not for any one person or an entity or anything like that. It's more of like just free form writing. Mm-hmm. So I did as a way in college to kind of try to help me break out of my antisocial shell. I was invited out to do some writing for a not improv, college sketch comedy show. I don't know why I want to say improv.
That's pretty cool.
It's one of those things that you don't know whether you're good at it or not, like anything in life, until you try it. So I wrote some stuff, and it got included in one of the shows, and apparently it worked well. I'm like, all right, I'll keep doing it more. So I occasionally do it, which is what led to like the ad reads and stuff that I've done for various shows, not just Bads, but also for like Elmer Fudd's cast when they were still doing that. And it's a nice way to kind of, get your thoughts on paper and just kind of put them out there and see and let the rest of the world know what the hell is rumbling around through your head.
Have you ever tried blogging like Medium or something?
I do very occasionally. Like, I kind of fall out of the rhythm of it. I need to be better about the rhythm of doing, like, a golf blog.
Right.
Where I would, like, I'd go out and play, like, 9 holes, and then I would do a review of it going, well, let me tell you where I screwed up today. It was right here. It was when I hit the 3rd ball into the woods and realized maybe I shouldn't use that club anymore.
All right, Tin Cup.
Yeah. But it's always one of those things that like I've enjoyed doing, and then I sometimes forget that I enjoy doing it, and then I come back to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I was just curious because I love Medium. I love reading blogs and stuff on certain topics anyway.
This is a question about him, not about you.
So, I
know. But that's awesome though. I mean, can you name what the show was or?
Let's see.
I mean, if we wanted to track it down and that kind of thing.
Like the sketch show?
Yeah. Or was it just like a live thing?
It was just a live thing, yeah. There wasn't any recording of it. I think that was more for the benefit of the actors than it was anything else. They're like, let's not record ourselves so we don't look at this like 20 years later and go, oh my God, we thought that was funny. Yeah, it was just, it was live in front of students and all that, basically. Yeah, it never went anywhere outside of the campus, basically.
Okay.
Cool deal. Okay. I know I've asked you this several times, but Lazz, dude, what's up behind the gamer tag? For those of you who may not know.
So besides the ever-evolving end of it, like in the Discord right now, I think Brittany changed it to Lazz, the Master Legend of Space Lawyer, etc.
Right.
When I first needed to make a Steam name and an Xbox name, like as much as I enjoy writing, I'm terrible at coming up with names, especially if it's for something that I'm going to use more than once. And at the time, my now wife and I, we weren't married. And I said, you know what? We need a name for the internet because you have to name your internet every time you start up a new package. I need a name for Xbox. So we just combined part of my last name and part of her last name, which is where Lazz came from. And then I just decided to constantly like change the end of it all the time. But Lazz is the part that's always kind of stayed the same because it was something that I thought, yeah, you know, we both game every so often, her not as much anymore, but it was a good combination of both. And now it just is Lazz and a constantly changing last name.
Very nice. I know Lazarus the Lich was your initial name. Wasn't that about the Lich King? And
Lazz the Lich. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that a World of Warcraft reference? I can't remember exactly.
Sort of. Yeah. So one of the games I played, like being in my childhood house. So it was upstairs. It was my room. One of my three brothers was across the hall. Another one was down the hall. Oh, there was two across the hall. So this, for any of you young kids out there, I know you're listening because there's a bunch of you newbies in the Discord, so I know you're listening. LAN parties, basically. So we would play Warcraft 3, basically just whether it's against each other or against computer opponents, and I found it especially thrilling to play as the undead. So I was always grabbing the Lich character whenever I could in that one. And it just rhymed with rich, and I was like, oh, it's perfect. It rhymes. Oh, it's great. I'm just going to keep it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Good deal, man. I had to just mention that because I know that was your original, what we knew you by. But all right, Hazel, I've got one more. I think you have one more?
That is correct.
I'll take us out tonight.
Okay. So, Mr. Lich, do you have a motto or mantra that you like and that you live by, or something like that, or a couple of them?
So I know this is one of your signature questions, and it was one I was thinking about, and I was like, in my head, for everyone, just so you guys know, this is the stuff that rattles in my head. I was like, oh, when they ask that question, I'm going to be like, yeah, I got a motto, and the motto's never going to give you up. And I was like, no, that's stupid. Don't do that. That's
Rickroll
stupid.
Me.
Don't Rickroll him. That's stupid. And I don't think it's like an official motto from anyone or any person. Yeah, any person or anything like that. But I tend to be a more happy-go-lucky, optimistic person up until like the evidence has shown me, okay, it's time to be pessimistic. And so my viewpoint, my motto is basically to always be looking up, because unless you have like a 100% certain reason that you need to be down and like sad, angry, etc., there's always something you can look forward to bring your spirits up.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's a good attitude to live by.
Yeah. I thought for sure you were setting us up for what's a motto? And I was going to be like, well, you know, and you're like, what's a motto with you?
Oh, that rattled through my brain too. And I was like, no, that's just as dumb as they're never going to give you up. Thank God.
All right. I'll take us out. I don't know if you've had time to think about this one, but I love this question. And it is, what is one thing about you that maybe our newer community might not know about you?
Let's see. Yeah, I do have to kind of rack my brain because I've already revealed the sketch comedy thing. Mm-hmm. The golf is a well-known thing and all that. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, I do have a good one. So we have the power of the internet. So if you guys don't know what this is, you can look it up. In the Washington, D.C. area, there's a kind of music center called the Kennedy Center.
Oh, yeah.
And during high school, my favorite class, and it turned out I was pretty good at it, was music. And I started out in the brass section, but then they needed a bassoon player. And I said, well, shit, that's the same thing, right? Not really, but I'll do it anyways. And I picked it up. I self-taught myself and briefly thought about doing music in college. So I did like 2 semesters as a music major, and then decided that that was too, not stressful, but like everyone was so serious, and I was more about wanting to have fun with music, and that wasn't the case there. But one of the things I got to do during those 2 semesters is that I got to go and play with the main band because I was the only bassoon player. And we actually played in front of a live audience in the Kennedy Center in DC.
Wow.
And
that's pretty cool.
They did have YouTube videos, but I cannot find that one because I've tried to and it's not there. I'm like very disappointed.
Dang. Dude, fellow bassoon player here. I went from a reed instrument to a double reed instrument. You went from a brass instrument to a double reed. That's a big jump, man.
Yeah, it's because I'm an idiot, basically.
Did you already read bass clef, or did you go from treble to bass like I did?
No. So it was bass clef. That was the one reason why I was like, oh, I can do this, because for whatever, even though every other reed was treble clef, somebody somewhere in ancient history was like, bassoonist, no, you guys are bass clef. You guys are weird.
Yep. Yeah. Self-taught. That's outstanding, man. I had to have help. And, boy, I was young, you know. When you're young, your brain's very, flexible. You can learn new things much faster, but, I couldn't even imagine doing that today. Good on you, man. Bassoon.
I was going to say, if you put that thing in my hands now, I don't, muscle memory may do it, but I don't think I could keep up with the speed.
Saxophone, no problem. But bassoon, no. It takes a lot of air. People don't realize this. That bassoon is a long instrument, man. It takes a lot of air to even fill up any sound in that thing.
It's a lot of air, and you can, and like a lot of instruments obviously have like their ranges, right? So like the saxophone family, you've got altos and sopranos are a little bit higher, tenors are more the middle, you got baritones at the low. Bassoons go low and high. They cover all the range because, again, apparently the people who invented this instrument were just like, we're going to invent this instrument because there's that one guy, his name's Albert, we hate him. He's going to play this instrument and we're going to force him to play the low notes and the high notes because screw Albert.
Oh my God. It was such a sick sound when I played it because I sucked. That's awesome. Damn. Yeah, we could talk bassoon for a while, I'm sure. But I want to test your twitch reflexes in our speed run though. What do you think, Hazel? You think he's ready for it? It's a little different this time around.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry, I dozed off during bassoon talk.
Yeah, I know. Figured you did.
All right. That's the new podcast. It only lasts like 5 minutes. Don't worry. It's okay.
Bassoon talk.
Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah, I was trying to spell bassoon and I was just like, oh fuck it, I don't care.
It's BASOON.
You got to BASS and then went, haha, it says ass, and then you passed out.
You're done.
Pretty much. Ass.
All right. Speedrun's next.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Jinsen Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, listeners, this segment is called the Speedrun. This is where we have a database of over 600 possible questions for our guest. And Lazz here will have 2 minutes to answer as many as he can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and at the end of the year, the guest with the most answer will win a prize and title of 2023 Speedrun Champion. The questions are custom curated by me, so no one can memorize the order. Just like I said, I always say every week, quickly answer what comes to mind. Tonight, I'm going to read the questions out loud from my list. Hazel is our timekeeper and quality control expert. In the event of a questionable answer, Hazel's decision will be final. Mr. Toll the Bell is our current leader with 53 questions answered. So what do you think, Lazz? You ready to do this?
Oh, my body is ready. My mind, and we'll see.
Okay. Fair enough. Hazel, 2 minutes. We good?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Warlock.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Void, solar, arc, or stasis?
Arc.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Florida.
Have you ever been in a band?
Yes.
Controller or mouse and keyboard?
Controller.
RNG Gator or Todd the Gator?
Todd.
Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit?
Strikes.
Are you an AMC Stubbs member?
No.
Glam rock or punk?
Punk.
If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
Kanju.
Candy bars or chocolate bars?
Candy bars.
Human, Awoken, or Exo?
Exo.
Simpsons or South Park?
Simpsons.
Is Scum Death your uncle?
Of course.
What's your favorite Destiny planet?
Nessus.
Last Wish or Leviathan Raid?
Leviathan.
Have you ever been to the Lighthouse?
No.
What's the best sandwich?
Ham and cheese.
What armor slot do you use as an exotic?
Head.
Do you play Iron Banner?
Yes.
Ikora, Cater, Zavala?
Ikora.
Sniper or shotgun?
Sniper.
What number am I thinking of?
52.
Would you rather be financially rich or never game, or work a 9 to 5 in game?
9 to 5.
What's your favorite word?
Oh no.
Destiny 2 seasonal events, yes or no?
Yes.
What's the one thing you own that needs to be thrown out?
Shoes.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Janitor.
Kill clip or rampage?
Rampage.
Do you have a tattoo?
No.
Bacon or sausage?
Bacon.
Favorite drink?
Gin.
Resolution or frames?
Resolution.
Solo or fire team?
Solo.
Gas, electric, or diesel?
Gas.
Can you drive a stick shift?
Yes.
Liberty or death?
Liberty.
Do aliens exist?
Sometimes.
Car or truck?
Car.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Wars.
Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Forest or ocean?
Ocean.
Destiny 1 or Destiny 2?
Destiny 1.
Fishing or hunting?
Fishing.
Fashion or function?
Fashion.
Last word or ace of spades?
Last word.
McDonald's or Burger King?
Burger King.
Pineapple on pizza?
Time.
No.
Oh, so close. Sorry, I stumbled on a couple there. I'm sure Hazel adjusted for it, but
I did. And your long ass question.
I know. I had to,
Jesus Christ,
dude. I had to put her. I had
all the questions all the time.
I had to do a would you rather because that goes back to the Dad's Tales guys. So it just didn't come out as smooth as I wanted it to. Sorry about that, dude. Not bad, man. I mean, I don't think you could answer it in quickly. So it was just on my end reading it out fast enough. So, all right, Hazel, how did he do, man?
Well, I wonder who he's gonna sue us.
Well, we do have that matter of double dipping.
Just stop.
Okay, never mind.
50.
Oh man, so close. 3 questions. Damn.
Hey, I'll take it. That's pretty much top 10, I think, right there.
That is.
Yeah.
That's actually, I think that's bronze, I believe. Yeah. I think it's bronze. I mean,
You were moving.
I did the long question there, the would you rather, but what I did is I threw in some shorter answers after it. So sorry, man. I'll think about that next time. Well,
I have two thoughts on it. First, when you said what's your favorite word, I went, oh no. I'm like, wait, that's 2 words.
That's all right.
Yeah. I'd let it go.
And I have to say that my favorite speed run was the one you did with Fudd, when Fudd was just like sat there in silence for like almost the entire time.
That's a
which
good
had
question.
to be calculated.
Yes.
It had to be calculated.
Oh man, that was so good. Yeah. And then RNG tried to beat him by getting less than him, and he messed up and won.
Oh, RNG,
great.
come on.
Yeah, that was a good one. Hey everyone, got a question for you out there. Do you have a great question for our speedrun segment? If that's a yes, join our Discord and enter them into our speedrun question ideas channel. We've had a lot of entries this year, so keep them going. The more, the better. And we'll, of course, add them to next year's speedrun. Just remember, they need to be yes or no, 1 or 2 word answers. Either or questions will be accepted. And my favorite, and probably the one open question I do like, is what is your favorite? At the end of the year, we're going to have 2 drawings for a $25 gift card of your choice, and you can enter up to 5 questions to go into the drawing. So keep throwing them in there, everyone. I love seeing these new questions. So good luck. Also, if you're enjoying what you've heard so far in our little show and you know someone who plays Destiny, hey, take this moment to just pause it right now and share that link with them to our show. The links are in our show description right down there, or in whatever podcast app you're using. I'm sure there's some kind of share button. At least we hope there is. Anyway, that means it's time for this week at Bungie.
Hello, this is Admiral Nips from Potato Thumbs Podcast. You're listening to Guardian Downcast. And while your state sucks, you're still probably a pretty decent person.
All right, Hazel, second week of Season of the Deep. What's going on in the TWAB this week, man?
Dude, if this is like some girthy TWAB type stuff that they would save for, like the next season kind of stuff.
All right, I'll get my popcorn then. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Kick your feet up. And the time it takes to do that, we might be done. Okay. So, the dungeon is live. The armor looks amazing. You can also put the RGB photo finish shader on it, and it will change colors. Fun fact for you. Bungie also wants you to know that, hey, you can spend money on their stuff and you can buy it for the dungeon. Also, it's June is Pride Month. And for that, if you're feeling festive and want to do something rad for a good cause, with a cool reward, you can also head over to Bungie/Pride to earn the Infinite Prismatic Emblem for a $10 donation. And that goes to the It Gets Better project. So, and that's a cool emblem. I have it. It rocks.
I got it too. It's a good emblem.
Yep. My daughter has the pin up in her room.
Nice.
It's rainbow. She loves it.
I will say the dungeon jacket looks pretty.
It's different.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. A little brighter.
Yeah, it does. Yep. Yeah, I was listening to, I think it was Fallout, talk about it. He's like, well, I'd wear that if I lived in Seattle.
Rain jacket. Looks like it.
Seahawks fans. Bleh.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. We have M-Start. So with this is a marathon themed emblem in Destiny 2. And then they give you a free code here. It is, for anybody listening, J for Joker, N for Nintendo. It should be November, but D for Delta, H for Hotel, L for Lima, R for Romeo, L for Lima, 69er. There you go. There's your code. Go cash it in on Bungie Redeem.
And I'm going to go change my ATM pin now.
Oops, sorry, Lazz.
How did they know?
Exactly.
Fucking Bungie. Prime Gaming update. So you can get, this is all really topical to stuff, actually. Holy hell. They give you a little ghost, projection here for the season of the Deep. That's pretty topical. That's Congratulations, good. Bungie, on doing something actually there. Ninja Vanish emote, in case you need it, which is a pretty cool one. Redline Ghost Shell, and the Skedaddle Legendary Sparrow. So if you need it, go for it.
Hey, Hazel, I got a question. What's going on in the player support report?
You mean shit's broken?
There it is.
Yes, shit is broken. The dungeon key seems to be all kinds of fucked, unfortunately.
As Lazz just bought
it. God damn it.
Sorry, Lazz.
It might be fixed by the time, for you. So yeah, some other things here. Sunbracer exotic gloves are not extending the duration of solar grenades. So holy hell, I can't imagine that. That's going to be meta. There you go. All right. Movies, art, and a Stay Crafty from Sam.
Yeah, I did want to mention also that I just got this from Twitter, from Bungie, is they have disabled the Kepri's horn.
Kepri's. Yeah, I'm pretty pissed off about that.
I'm not. It's for Titan, so
Fuck off.
I'm sorry.
Do you know why they did it though?
Why? I don't know. I'm not caught up there.
So yeah, apparently if you put that exotic on Strand and you go ahead and you throw out your barricade, it sends out a wave of fire still, but it also suspended things.
Oh my God.
Basically, if you fired it at a door, it would break the door and ads would not come out.
Oh my God. Just a little overpowered.
I love our community.
My God. Oof. That's pretty powerful. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Hazel, as usual. And, we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Bill. Remember to ring that notification bell and keep listening to Guardian Downcast.
All right, Lazz, when I was thinking of our topic of the week, I forgot that you're a big lore guy, man. Okay, I'm sorry. I know you're humble. you dabble in lore, in Destiny lore. So I said, you know what? We have not had lore experts on our show in a while. So this would be a good night to talk about our favorite character of the deep, right? And that's Xivu Arath. So I figured, maybe you could shed some wisdom tonight and, maybe enlighten us about what's going on with Xivu Arath, or who is Xivu Arath, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got your guys' messages before the show and was like, yeah, we try to get Bife, we try to get Mylan Games. Hell, we reached out to that Des guy from that Guardian Hub thing who I think he knows something about lore, but who knows. And we were like, and you guys were like, oh, we'll settle on you. And I was like, fine, I'll do it. Okay.
I don't think it went down that way. I did not go down that way.
I applaud your ability to absolutely butcher things.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so like you guys have referenced earlier, I didn't have the dungeon key or anything. I knew there was a dungeon and then forgot that there was a separate key for it if you didn't get the Lightfall at the annual pass.
The deluxe pass, right?
Yeah. And so you brought up the topic of Xivu. I'm like, yeah, like Xivu's kind of that one that, like, Oryx is dead, or at least somewhat dead. Savathun, we have her corpse somewhere. In fact, Eris is probably picking through it as we speak. But Xivu's still out there. I was like, oh yeah, Xivu. All right. And then we talked about the Bife video and I watched it and I realized, good Lord, like this is the most Xivu information we've gotten anywhere. Like even the first Grimoire anthology, which is basically the Books of Sorrow, is all about them leading up to them kind of going their separate ways, the three hive gods. So the fact that we not only get a lot of just Xivu information, but we get a voice actress who absolutely like knocks it out of the park, by the way.
Yeah.
And because it's not just like the lore behind her we get, it's the emotion that goes into all these lines. It's not just like she's angry. She's angry, she's hurt, she's sad. It's holy crap. Like there's a lot more humanity to this hive god than we thought. But for anybody who doesn't follow the lore too much, you just kind of play the game, you pick up the story at various places. So Xivu Arath is one of the three hive gods who eons and eons ago was a member of a species called the Krill, who are much weaker than the current hive that we face now. And through various machinations of other species and a traitor amongst their own court, the Krill royalty were basically targeted by another species. But who we come to find out via the Witness, because it's the worm gods who are controlled by the Witness, the three sisters, who we come to know as Savathun, Oryx, and Xivu Arath, are corrupted, basically, or convinced that the darkness is the path to take. And like I'm kind of like summarizing it up.
No, you're doing perfect. No, you're doing. Yeah. I like it.
And so throughout the eons, the Books of Sorrow tell the story of how like each hive god basically did what they needed to do to feed their worms, but also like conflicts with each other as well. And we got to a point where Savathun basically said, you know what, if I want to grow, I need to separate from you folks. Xivu Arath said the same thing. And then that's where we as the Guardians kind of come into the picture. Like we go and we kill Crota, and Oryx is like, you bastards, I'm going to come and like kick your asses. And then we kick his ass.
Yep.
Savathun comes in the picture in the really amazing Witch Queen campaign, where we learn that the Traveler's like, yeah, I'll give you the light. Cool. And we're like, oh, what the hell are you doing? But the thing that really like kind of captured me with all this is, you watch the Bife video and he goes into like details of Xivu, who we still haven't physically seen her. Like, according to the lore, she physically shows up on Tora Bottle, which is the Cabal homeworld, when she like wrecks the ever-living crap, destroys it basically. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, she's the only hive god of the three that we physically haven't seen in game yet. Like, we as a player have not actually seen her in front of us. Like, obviously we saw Oryx, we saw Savathun, but Xivu is still kind of operating in the shadows, which is weird because of the three like Hive God. She's the god of war. You would think like she would be front and center. Like, I'm the god of war. I'm kicking your asses. Here I am. Instead, she's behind the scenes for like a lot of this, and it's mostly her minions doing a lot of the footwork here.
Yeah, Season of the Hunt. I remember that. We heard about her in a third person, but we never really saw her. Just her.
But isn't she also considered like a master strategist as well?
Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people look past, because Savathun blinds like us as players, because Savathun is the god of like deceit. So we think strategy is her big thing, which it is. It definitely is. She has a long game for everything. So you think about God of War and you think, well, God of War is basically it's an interesting comparison to make. You think about the God of War PlayStation series, and that's basically Kratos just running around like beating the crap out of everybody he comes across.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, you play the game, it's a lot of button mashing. There's not too much strategy involved. It's like beat the crap out of him, move on. So I'm not saying that's how everyone thinks of Xivu, but you think of a God of War and it's someone who just shows up and just tries to demolish planets, demolish a species, and feed that worm. But yeah, Hazel, like you said, it's a strategy sort of thing. And a lot of the lore that we got from the dungeon, from the calcified fragments you can pick up, really do give you this insight where she is a strategist, where she goes, I'm not just going to run like straight into a conflict. I'm going to let you guys fight it out. And when I see an opening, I'm going to slide right in there, and then I'm going to bring the war to you, which, well, that makes sense. Let us fight amongst ourselves down here. And then she pops up and just goes, sup, like beats the crap out of us. Or at least that's what she wants to do, but we've stopped her every single time, which you learn from these lore pieces that it's really pissing her off.
Mm-hmm.
But the big things that I wrote down for this, her being the only one who's technically living right now of the three. So she uses the words blasphemy and heresy a lot. So blasphemy she uses because we went and killed Oryx, and his body fell into Saturn and all that jazz. But if you go back and look at the lore, when we did that, Poland, who is a warlock who basically is a floating ball of light now, he talks to us, and it admonishes us actually, because we went and killed Oryx but didn't take the Taken King like helm, and he's like, the hell are you guys doing? That's the sword logic. You're supposed to take the mantle of Taken King. Mm-hmm. You guys didn't do it. You screwed everything up. And in this lore here, Xivu's like, this is blasphemy. The sword logic states, you have conquered this other being. You're supposed to take that mantle. You didn't do it. It's blasphemy. And it's not just her like being like, well, that's so blasphemous. What's wrong with you? Like, if you listen to it, she's yelling, she's screaming, she's upset about it. It's like raw emotion. And then they go, and a couple fragments later, she talks about heresy, because Savathun, through her machinations, goes, yeah, you know what? I'm going to appeal to the traveler. I'm going to be like, yeah, give me the light, yo. This is going to be great. And through that, she claims heresy, because Savathun was the one, when she was just Sathona, her original Krill form, she was the one that told them they needed to go dive into the depths of Fundament to go find the worm gods. Right. And now she's turned around and she's allied herself with the Traveler. So, like, Xivu's hurt because, like, her sisters that she's obviously known since she was born, and then they share all these memories. Like, Savathun has betrayed her and the Witness and the darkness and turned to the light. And now she's a corpse somewhere with her ghost somewhere. Amaru is still out there somewhere. Oryx, now she learns like Oryx is dead, and like apparently like she has control of the Taken now, but she's not the Taken King or anything like that. Right. But there's all this raw emotion through these calcified fragments, and to an extent it's actually a lot, considering a lot of the stuff you get from Xivu is stuff that you just kind of read in the lore bits that you get, whether it's attached to like armor pieces or guns, or even like some of the Season of the Seraph stuff where the Witness has basically tasked her with going and either like destroying the Warmind network or taking it over.
Right.
And to the point where her armies who are trapped in the Ascendant Plane, well, not trapped, but they're in the Ascendant Plane, can come through to Earth, and then Rasputin sacrifices himself. So there's all this raw Xivu emotion where she's the only surviving sister now. She feels betrayed by Savathun. She feels blasphemed because we, as the conquerors of Oryx, didn't take his title. We just kind of said, all right, cool, peace out, and just left. And it kind of feels like, after listening to all the audio logs, that she's at a loss for what she should do. Like, she's the god of war. She still has to feed her worm. She follows the sword logic, and she obviously follows the witness. But she doesn't have Oryx to kind of feed off of anymore, because he kind of was the whole guiding force for them. Mm-hmm. Savathun's gone now, at least for now. I have theories on that. But there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of sadness. And you play any game, watch any movie, any TV show where one of the main characters has this raw emotion, and it almost always turns into some sort of a conflict. And it's interesting because Lightfall is the last expansion before Final Shape comes out. Mm-hmm. Final Shape is supposed to be the end of the Light versus Dark. And at this point, we've established that the Witness is basically the big bad. So where does Xivu fit into this for us?
I was just going to ask you that.
We're getting all this great lore about her, all of this, the amazing voice actress doing all this great work for her, feeding this emotion into her. And the first thing I read about a lot of this is, God, I hope that Xivu isn't some sort of seasonal boss, because at this point she deserves something more than that. But what do they give her that isn't kind of robbing from us going and trying to punch the Witness in the face, or faces, I should say, actually. But it's been a lot to digest, because Gator, like you said, the Books of Sorrow are so in depth, whether you want to believe they're true or they're just kind of hyped up a little bit because it's
it's my favorite
it's the
book.
Hive's kind of lore.
Yeah, it's my favorite book. Absolutely. It's my favorite story of Destiny.
Oh, absolutely, because it gives so much context to the Taken King story.
Yeah, and it goes so far back before a lot of the gold. This goes beyond before the Golden Age, right?
Oh, it goes eons before the Golden Age. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a pleb.
No, absolutely. And it's interesting now, because you go back and read those stories about how they went from a species that basically was supposed to live for 10 years and then basically croak, which I don't think there's an actual connection here, but that's also 10 years is the amount of time that Cloud Striders are supposed to live before they croak.
Oh my God, that's right.
I'm not saying there's a connection. However, 10 years is... They could have chosen any amount of time. They chose 10.
Right.
I don't know.
Interesting. And we're approaching 10 years in Destiny 2?
We are
Destiny period.
That's Destiny period. Yeah. September of 2014 was Destiny 1.
So 10 years would be 2024. Oh my God. Right? The symbolism.
And this is where so there's something that all the dungeon stuff is super cool. Mm-hmm. In terms of Xivu lore. But I think there's one thing that I'm just thinking about it now, that when you go there's only been 2 weeks, so obviously we get, I think there's 6 weeks of story.
That's what I was thinking, looking at the steps.
Yeah, the triumph there and all that. Yeah. Oh no.
He's furious.
But I think one of the things that we see towards the end of each seasonal mission, or seasonal weekly mission we do, is Sloane feels influence from Xivu.
Really?
Because she's got that Taken corruption.
That's right.
And she talks about how she feels this Xivu's push, because Xivu has control of the Taken now.
Right.
And I almost wonder, because this is seasonal content stuff, so despite whatever they do with Final Shape, if they release more seasons or if it's just Final Shape and that's it,
right,
the seasonal stuff always disappears. So we don't have the Leviathan we can go back to anymore. That's gone. So what's going to happen? Titan's just going to disappear probably. So what's going to happen with Sloane? Is she going to go on a blaze of glory? Are we going to bring her back, to fix the Taken corruption? we have this string of victories against Xivu where we've either beaten her to the punch on like getting the Awoken relics before her armies could get there. Mm-hmm. We helped Mara Sov remove Savathun's worm before Xivu could get her. Xivu's basically been failing left and right.
Right.
And she's got this like complex combination of anger, sadness, and just general confusion, it feels like, about what's the direction. Like, how does she and the Hive fit into the final shape? And it's not like the Witness is having, like committee meetings on a weekly basis going, okay, everybody, final shape is on the way. Here are the steps. You're involved. You can screw off. No one cares about you. Like, nobody seems to know except for the Witness. And Xivu's just kind of there like, I'm here, like, use me. Like, what else are we, like, come on, let's go. And I've read some stuff where people have said they don't know whether, like, she's going to be redeemed in a way, like Savathun kind of realized that the light was something that she needed to embrace.
And they were lied to by the worm.
They were lied to, but I don't know if Xivu knows that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because the idea behind the Witch Queen campaign is that Savathun wasn't fully aware of that, and we kind of unlocked that memory because the whole trope of Witch Queen, the spoiler alert if you guys haven't played it, I'm sure most of you listening have. When Savathun gets resurrected, much like us, she loses all those memories, and we helped her regain all of them.
That's right.
Because she tricked us.
Right.
But one of the ones apparently she wasn't aware of because she lost that memory was with the worm entity that we gathered from her old temple, which showed us that, the Witness and the worm gods, they lied to her, acting like the Traveler was there to basically massacre them, when in reality the Traveler was there to, enlighten them.
Right.
And
by the way,
go ahead.
Just an aside, you were talking about the worm in Witch Queen. We put that worm called the Parasite into a grenade launcher, right? The worm that spoke. Dude, that was the best lore, the Mara conversation. I'm not going to spoil too much here, but if you are playing Witch Queen, do the Parasite mission, because that was enlightening to me. The worm said so much about the future and stuff. But sorry, I'm not trying to throw you off. I just want to mention that because we talked about the worm, and people are like, "Well, where did the worm go when Savathun left it? It's in our weapon.
It's in our gun.
Believe that shit?
That's right. Damn it. That's the best part of that, especially like when you go through that quest and it's talking to you the whole time, like, what are you doing to me? And you're like, you're my gun now. That's what you are.
Oh no. I got a question, Lazz.
Yeah.
I stupidly, like I said, I'm a pleb. Hey, I'm Gator. I thought they would deal with Savathun. No, I'm sorry. Xivu Arath on the opening, on this season with this opening, season of Deep. But then when I found out who the boss was for this dungeon, I realized that she probably needs a better send off than that. So what do you think? This is why I was asking, now that Hazel's run the dungeon, I can ask him again. I asked him last week, I said, they're going to have a reprised raid next season, but then they're going to have a dungeon before the final shape. And we know that the Witness is just manipulating Xivu Arath, right? Am I correct there? She's
definitely
just a tool. I mean, Xivu is just another arm, another tool that she takes advantage of. What if, as we send off Xivu Arath before the final shape, that's our second dungeon of this expansion, is we finally deal with Xivu Arath? Is that feasible? Or you think that's appropriate? Or should she be in something bigger? I don't know.
Well, that's the interesting thing, right? Like, so for those of you that didn't play the original Destiny before Destiny 2, obviously, so you had Destiny Vanilla, where we dealt with the Vex and the Black Garden, and then the big story from that after that, with the various expansions that came with it, was the Taken King, where Oryx literally showed up in the Sol system and was trying to enact vengeance on us because we screwed up his tithing system of the acolytes and knights killing and feeding their worms, which would then feed worms up above them through the witches and all of that, into Crota. We killed Crota, ruined his tithing system. So he came to try to like kill us, and we basically said, yeah, we're the guardians.
No, dog.
Not of the galaxy, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we dealt with him there. And even that was an interesting one, because you would go through the single player campaign for Taken King, you'd fight Oryx, but not fully kill him. And that wouldn't happen until the raid.
Right.
So there is kind of, you could make the argument that a character like Xivu could be in a raid attached to Final Shape, maybe. Okay. You could make the argument that she definitely deserves bare minimum a dungeon.
Yeah, I agree.
I do not think that she should be any sort of seasonal boss. I do agree with anyone that has written that online. I don't think that that's deserving of her stature.
Said Gator, you know what you're talking about, dude. Those people.
There's a lot of that online. It's surprising. I can't believe there's so much of that.
What?
Yeah, I have a link to a Reddit.
No, yeah, let's move on. Well,
just my thought is that, so I've been thinking about this. I kind of asked the question like it on the Guardian Hub, where basically I asked, what if Savathun talks to Xivu and tells her that, hey, we were manipulated, and then Xivu joins us.
Kumbaya!
If there's one thing that we've learned from the lore that we've gotten from Season of the Deep for Xivu, it's that she is still deeply connected with the family roots.
That is true. That's true.
Yes. And so
that's her soft link.
It's her soft link. It's her weakness is that she still feels strongly and like tries to follow through on the sword logic, because Oryx did that. Mm-hmm. And so there is a line of logic there that if Savathun gets resurrected at some point, because again, Imaro, her ghost, is out there somewhere. We don't know where, but he's out there somewhere. Like, if she ever gets resurrected, and basically it goes to Xivu and is like, hey, listen, that whole thing about the darkness? Yeah, we were lied to. I could see potentially that turning around and Xivu maybe being like, well, okay, yeah, I believe you and I'll follow you, because her confusion at this point is to an extent where she's questioning what she's doing, sort of. Because what do we have? So we're in Season of the Deep, so we have 2 more seasons before Final Shape.
And then even after then, we don't know how far they're going to go.
Right, that's the thing.
August
22nd. Question.
Destiny Showcase.
August 22nd.
Bungie Showcase. They should tell us the future, but we don't know.
Yeah, I imagine, you think about it, and spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, they already released like that mini trailer for Final Shape.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
last week.
So you have to imagine that the showcase is going to have something story-wise. I'm trying to think back about, so each dungeon so far. So we've had Shattered Throne, which was one of Savathun's daughters, was the final boss. Mm-hmm. We've had the Pit of Heresy, which was a hive knight that was constantly being brought back to life. Mm-hmm. Prophecy was the 9 being weird.
Who knows what that was?
Yeah, exactly.
Some captain or some fallen boss. Yeah.
And so the Grasp of Avarice was like us being pirates, because that was all part of the 30th anniversary. Mm-hmm. And so the various dungeons have had different like reflections of the seasons or expansions they've come with. But Ghosts of the Deep is the first one that's had a really, really, really big impact on how everyone looks at the lore with Season of the Deep, because it's been so connected to it.
Exactly.
And it's just been so enlightening to get this perspective of where Xivu's at, because I've got it pulled up now, the amount of stuff that Xivu's tried to do while we as players have played through the game, and we've stopped her every single time. Mm-hmm. And you know how villains are in any movie or TV show when they're constantly stopped. They just get more and more pissed off.
Yeah.
And they start going to more and more extremes. And maybe there is like maybe it's part of like Savathun's long game where she like told her ghost, it's like, you know, wait like 5 seasons or something like that and then resurrect me. You know, the timing's weird. You're not going to time it by seasons, but the players will know what it is. It's fine.
I don't want to spoil the dungeon, Lazz, but on the final encounter, it's going to blow your mind.
That's what I've heard. And that's one thing I haven't spoiled myself on yet.
Good. Yeah, we need to play it, man. It's fun. When you see that final encounter, you're like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah.
And that's what keeps me coming back is like you sometimes read articles about the stuff where like the stories are great and all this, but like you can read the story without playing the game and yada yada. But there's just something about playing the game and picking up the lore as you get it versus just going to like Ishtar Collective and just reading it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how about we do this? We each go through and tell our thoughts for how we think that it's going to end, kind of thing.
You've got to tell them what we talked about last week, Hazel.
Well, I mean...
Are you changing your mind on that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that, I mean, I think how about we do that?
Okay.
I don't know if Lazz has put forth any thought into it, but...
Well, I kind of spilled the beans on what I think. I think we'll... You mean the entire or just Xivu?
I mean... Yeah, so kind of like what I'm thinking. I'll start. I'll give everybody like a framework, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking is that sadly, we beat... Well, okay, that with the witness, we beat her in the main story. Mm-hmm. And then we finish her off in the raid for, the final shape.
Like Oryx.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of my thought to it. And then as we're celebrating or something like that, Xivu comes in and kills off Zavala and anybody else.
So she'll be the anti-hero after Final Shape, maybe? Is that what you're saying?
No, not anti-hero.
I'm
saying that
the
she
villain
comes in and she comes in because it's a moment of levity for everybody and we're all excited and happy and everything else.
What a stunner that would be.
Yeah, exactly. It just, See, again, I want the world to burn.
I know. I was just going to say that. You beat me to it, damn it.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. So, and then we spend the next seasons basically, trying to find a way to beat her.
And then finally end the Light and Dark Saga. Okay.
Yeah, and then it ends in a dungeon for her.
That's pretty strong. Lazz, you got a chance to think about it?
It's an interesting perspective because, again, if you think about it, like I said earlier, she's the only one of the 3 hive gods we haven't physically laid eyes on yet. Even if you go back to the whole story behind her killing Sagira, or forcing Sagira to sacrifice herself, basically, that wasn't even Xivu there. That was her high celebrant.
That was, yeah. Mm-hmm. That was her champion.
Right. And you would think of the 3, so you've got Oryx the Taken King, who's just kind of milling about doing his thing. You've got the God of War, you would think would be front and center all this. And then you've got the Mistress of Lies, I'll call her, just lies, deceit, and all this. She's the one, Savathun. You would expect her to be constantly behind the scenes because in every TV show or movie you watch where there's some sort of deceitful character, they're never the one up there throwing punches. They're
Lex
the
Luthor.
ones. There you go. Yeah, behind the scenes, always manipulating things, going, ha ha ha, look what I'm going to do here. But really, that's turning out to be more and more like Xivu as the general behind the scenes, who's like, I'm going to lead my troops. My troops are going to get the killing done that I need to feed my worm, and that's how this is going to go. And I kind of like where Hazel's going with it. We go in Final Shape, and we defeat the Witness, whether it's fully in the campaign or then campaign in Raid. And then Xivu shows up and is like, I have no freaking direction. No one is telling me what to do. I'm going to just kill everybody. And then it's just, the rest of the seasons, if there are any seasons or whatever they have before their next release, is just us trying to like deal with everything she's trying to do, because she's completely lost control of everything, because any sort of like direction she's known, whether it was Oryx or in this case the Witness, is now gone, and she's just like vengeful and just, I just have to kill everything now because I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Because I did read, it wasn't a full sort of like theory or anything. It was more or less just like kind of what you said, Hazel. It's, we're going to do this in Final Shape. We know the Witness is there. That's kind of our big bad. Yeah. But like Xivu deserves a proper send off. And if it doesn't come in the next dungeon, what is it? 2 seasons from now? Yeah, 2 seasons from now, I think. If it doesn't come in that dungeon, if it doesn't come in the raid that comes with Final Shape, then maybe she is that final villain that sticks around, because we don't know where it goes after Light and Dark Saga. Like, what is the next saga? And maybe it is literally she's still around and goes, I'm sticking to the old ways, and you got to deal with me for the next X number of seasons or years. I could see that.
That's... I like that story. That would be very interesting if that's how, and that would answer my question as far as what happens after the actual campaign in the Final Shape. That would be, raid, knock out the Witness, and then Xivu comes in as a surprise, fool the person who thought they were controlling her, right?
I mean, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just
she just lays in wait.
Yeah, exactly. She's just waiting for her opportunity to step up and just,
And what's that one piece of lore that she said, I don't know, I think it was in part of the fragments, is, why should I fight? Let them fight amongst themselves, and then I'll be by to finish it out, right? I'll be by to easily just take it easily or clean it up and claim it as my own or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it was, but that was her intention. Was why dedicate my forces and just twist them where they fight each other? Yeah. That's tactician. I'm going to just be the dissent on that idea, because I still think that the Witness and the Traveler are how things end. And I don't know how they're going to stretch it beyond the campaign, but I'm sticking to my guns. I'm thinking that we're going to be talking about Xivu this season, next season, and then finally we're going to face her in that final dungeon before the Final Shape. And then we'll be focusing on, because I think there's a positive and negative relationship with the Traveler. Somehow there's some link there. And I think someone mentioned it, maybe Lord Silent. Someone mentioned it a long time ago on speculation that the light and dark have to be together. That's just the way things are in the world. There's light and there's dark. And then, Hazel, you talked about that damn idea of yours last week. It's been rattling around in my head about how we get into the Traveler, into that cutscene we talked about, that spoiler teaser for the Final Shape, where we see a certain person at a campfire. You mentioned that we would go in through the veil and come in through the back door, through the veil into the inside the Traveler. And then somehow that from there on we'll face some battle of light and dark with the Witness. I think that's how it's going to end. Just to be the opposite person here. But I mean, that's very vague as far as the end. You guys are definitely more specific on your story, but however way it happens, damn, I'm excited. I'm excited on how this ends. Cause how long have we been playing this game, man? With the hope or the tease that this will finally come to some end. And now it is. We're getting to that end now,
Decades.
I know.
Yeah, considering we went and kicked Oryx's ass in 2015.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, I'll let, I don't want to spoil it because, there's some stuff in that dungeon you need to see. But anyway, damn, good talk. Thanks, Lazz. Good talk, man. You have any other questions, Hazel, for him? I think I've spoken my piece.
I guess a sort of a pseudo question for you. What are your thoughts on my Kumbaya ending?
On the Kumbaya ending?
Yeah. Basically, like, we partner up with Asher Mir. We partner up with all of the
greatest hits.
Huh.
Yeah, we partner up with everybody, basically, that, is somebody. So we partner up with Savathun and everything, and then it's all of us teaming up and going against the Witness and anybody else that's there. And yeah, we all kind of, it's kind of like just us, and we're all just like, hey,
one big happy family.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how the Dark Future lore books went. And in the Dark Future, didn't even talk about the Witness. It was Eris Morn was the one who ended up being the big bad there, who was like in control of Savathun and stuff like that. But like the story of Dark Future had Elsie and Anna Bray going and like recruiting Zavala, who basically was despondent at that point, and brought him back, and just kind of like rallied everyone around like a common cause. So I know, like, we've got Sloane back. We originally brought Rasputin back, but he's gone now. I wouldn't put it past them from a story perspective to try to bring, like, as Gator said, the greatest hits. But where it gets murky like that is with the way the seasons work. Because, so we can't go to Titan right now unless we're doing a deep dive or a salvage or something like that. Like, you can't just go to the planet or moon like you used to be able to. And much like how we had the Leviathan come back, the haunted Leviathan, but it's now gone too. Like, we can't go back to it. So I almost wonder, like, if I'm trying to like connect dots. So when the final shape rolls around, they reset all that. So Titan will be gone again, allegedly. So if maybe part of the storyline for this season is us like freeing Sloane of the Taken corruption and then bringing her back to like the Helm or the Last City, then I could see her being around. Asher Mir as whatever sort of like Vex entity he's basically become, kind of hanging around. I could potentially see that as well, because that is kind of where we're going. We have to have all the allies we can possibly have to try to take on the Witness. And it would make sense, at least from a story perspective, if they can find ways to kind of finagle these characters in without it seeming too far-fetched.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Something just came to mind here. I think the Light and Dark, pretty much we're dealing with the Witness, and the Witness used who? The Witness used the Hive, right? And in some Fallen. What about the Vex? We haven't really heard much about the Vex.
Well, the Vex
Coria
was supposed to be the like, I believe, the final shape.
You think so? What if after the final shape is we have a whole new world of Vex we fight? They're the only ones left. No. Because why are we gonna?
Originally, the Vex, like I said, were supposed to be like the final shape. I think that was from the Dark Future or something.
Okay.
It was also from, was it Curse of Osiris, where we kind of went into like the future? Yeah, I think we went into the future.
Yeah, remember, it was so dark.
It was dark. The sun was like blotted out, and the Vex were the only things left.
Right. Oh God.
Yeah, they kind of have been just kind of hanging around, even though, an interesting kind of twist though, because in the Books of Sorrow, the Vex invade Oryx's throne world at one point.
Yes.
So you would think if they were like part of the Witness's plan that they wouldn't have done that. Because Oryx was obviously part of the Witness's plans to eventually like track down the Traveler and do whatever the Triangle nonsense is.
And if I remember correctly, Oryx went back through their portal and he actually made some of the Vex taken. Remember that season?
Yeah, that's how we ended up with Quiria, which was the Vex mine that trapped the Dreaming City, which is still trapped, weirdly.
Yeah. So many unanswered questions. Bungie, get on it. Let's go. I need answers.
Their writer's room, they look and they're like, oh shit, we
forgot the Vex. We forgot about the Vex. Oh my god. Season 29.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Back in my day, kids, in 2014, there was a Destiny 1. You don't even know. Grandpa, it's 2035, and it's still Destiny 2.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, thanks, Lazz. Great conversation, man. I was really looking forward to this tonight because I had a lot of questions. So
I expect messages from Dez in my inbox whenever this gets released. I feel like, you son of a bitch, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he'll go, wait a minute now. You didn't. Yeah. That's all right.
Or then he's going to be like, well,
mm-hmm.
You have a point.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, let's get to some Discord questions. We got some questions from everybody. So we've had some really great questions, Lazz. Hopefully we can get some answers to them. Hey, Guardians, would you like to send a question for the show to us? There's 4 ways to do it.
Join our Discord server. There's a link in our show notes. We have all kinds of Guardians here, from new lights to the dedicated hardcore gamers, and you can just lurk and hang out or jump right in and talk with us. It's up to you. There's also a channel labeled Podcast Questions where you can type in your question for the show.
You can email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or we also occasionally tweet about our upcoming show and guest, and you can respond there with your question at Guardian_D_cast is our Twitter handle.
Finally, you can send us a voicemail with your questions at speakpipe.com/GuardianDowncast, and we'll play it live on the show.
Thank you for all you do for our show. And Toddles.
And later, Guardian.
Hey, man. It's in the contract. That's my line.
We'll see about that. Lazz?
Oh, no, not Lazz again. Our podcast returning, really? You're going there?
Damn right, man. I pay him just as much as you do. That does sound weird, though. We're both paying him.
Yeah, what the hell? He's double dipping, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of our show where we get our questions from you. And Lazz will be here to help us out as well. We might even have some questions for Lazz. This is where we answer our questions from our Discord channel, where we get our show questions for the guest or for general or even fun questions, and also from our SpeakPipe voicemail system. So I'm going to start out with let's start out a little lively here. Let's go with a Scum Death SpeakPipe here.
Hello, Scumdev here. Question for the show. Last night I was playing some particularly vigorous games of Iron Banner, and my thumb was getting really sore. By the time I'd finished, I'd noticed that my thumb had actually split open. I think I might have been twiddling them joysticks rather vigorously. So yeah, I've got a cut on my thumb now. Well, I didn't have, so I've super glued it together. But so that is a gaming injury. But the best gaming injury I was ever involved in, I was playing FIFA with my nephew, and it was a really tight game, and he scored at the very last sort of minute of the game. He jumped up, and he didn't have any shoes on, and he kicked the table leg with his big toe and broke his big toe. So that's the funniest gaming injury I've ever heard of. So my question for you is, have you heard of or have you ever had a gaming injury? Anyway, love the show, guys. Keep it up. Never stop. And I'll see you soon. Love ya. Bye.
Thank you, Uncle Scumdeath. What do you think, guys? Gaming injuries. What?
I'm trying to get over the fact that he said twiddling my joysticks.
There's our title. No.
Oh my god.
Be careful with that. You might go blind.
No, I'm not doing that. No.
I don't know if that's the gin or if that's just my childish sense of humor. God. It would be something like FIFA that would make somebody kick a table, though. Damn. Gaming injury, wow.
Yeah, I have one. It happened to a friend of mine.
Do it.
So, I forget what we were playing. I think it was like back in, like, maybe like GoldenEye. And, like, I was that type of guy that would just use proximity mines and hide in the bathroom.
Bastard.
Yeah, pretty much. So I did that, and my buddy like took his controller and threw it against the wall, and it bounced off and hit him in the lip.
Ooh.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I just thought of another, actually.
All right.
This one happened to me. So anybody remembers the game Narc?
Mm-mm.
You could steal continues from the other person, or steal like lives and things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend at the time did not appreciate it and ended up punching me in the head and sent my bottom teeth through my lip.
What? In real life?
Today.
What?
Yeah. I still have the scar today.
No shit.
Yeah. He did not appreciate that. And that was actually the last time we hung out, coincidentally.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a slight rage problem. It's a video game, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Lazz, you got one?
So nowadays, everyone is familiar with the Nintendo Switch, but if you gamed with Nintendo in the past 10 years, you more than likely had some experience with the Wii, the original Wii.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big things that you could do, I think was one of the most fun things, was Wii Sports. And Wii Sports was fun, especially when you were playing tennis against someone, until you realized you were slowly shuffling a little bit, and you would go to be like, I'm Roger Federer, and you go to hit a backhand and then whack right into someone's eye. And I did that to my poor wife. Thankfully, she did not get a black eye or anything, but I was like, it's a backhand. Oh, not. Are we done for now? Yeah, okay, we're done for now. Okay, sorry. But those nunchucks are dangerous if you don't know.
They're
like
solid.
Yeah, it's like the old Boy Scout thing about like a blood circle when you're holding a knife for doing any sort of like woodwork. You're like, stay out of the blood circle. And it's the same thing with the Wii nunchucks. Stay out of the range of the circle here.
Yeah, I have a very similar injury. I have actually two answers. The first one is I was with my Oculus and I was playing Beat Saber, and I love Beat Saber because it reminds me of Rock Band. That's my all-time favorite game. I'll never forget that game. And I got a little too close to the TV, and I actually hit it with my knuckles, lunging forward, swatting at something. I was kind of actually hoping the TV would break because I want a new TV, and it hasn't broken yet. You guys know what I'm talking about. 1080p, screw that crap. It's all about, we need to get the 4K, right? Did I say it? I mean, so yeah, that was my injury, but I tell you what, we had a guy when I was back in my Call of Duty years, we had a guy named Hal. And Hal, if you're listening, I love you, buddy. He destroyed TVs and controllers. And how many? It was in double digits. This guy, when he got pissed playing Call of Duty, and of course it's multiplayer, he would chuck that controller at the TV screen and he'd break it both every time. I don't know how many TVs and he actually pre-ordered like 5 controllers back then. This is a PS4 days, I think. He actually told us one night, he says, yeah, I pre-ordered 4 of them. And I have my 5th one right here in my hand. So I'm prepared. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's a sign, I think.
Well, you never know what's going on in people's lives, you know, but, Hal was a lot of fun, dude. He was a fun guy to hang out with, but man, when
not if you're a TV.
Yeah. Don't be around him when he's gaming. So yeah, a good question, Uncle Scumdeath. All right. Let's dive in, Hazel. Good luck. Godspeed.
All right. So, question from Moose, Overlord of Moose. Question for the Space Lawyer. how hard is it keeping these two on the right side of space law?
I mean, listen.
I think he meant side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume it's side. If there's sod to space law, that's really... I don't like dealing with the ground or anything like that. Listen, there's no right side to space lawyering. It's just not possible. There's too many X factors. There's too many different court systems from all the different like moons and planets and all this other nonsense that you just kind of make shit up as you go along, you know? So, when it comes to keeping these two in line, I try to keep it more in a trapezoid. I think a trapezoid's a better way to describe it because it gives you more space.
There you go. Good answer.
I appreciate that. Okay, a question from Crow. Question for the space government prosecutor. Who has made more illegal space statements?
Oh, we know that's the answer.
Damn, you know, and like I read this one too because I was trying to research stuff ahead of time. I was like, "What? He didn't give me a multiple choice option? This is bullshit."
I think it would be A Gator, B Gator, and C Gator.
D secret answer, RNG Gator.
I plead the fifth.
In terms of the most like illegal decisions, it's clearly Britney, obviously.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Easily, which we don't hold against her. It's just the truth. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Britney can do no harm.
She can do no harm, and legally I cannot say how many infractions the two of you have committed, because if I do, I'll get put in space prison, so I cannot say anything out loud.
Yeah, I plead the fifth.
Yeah. It can't be more than like...
let's not open that can of worms, Hazel.
Oh, okay.
I'm recording, dude.
My bad.
The only can of worms that should be opened is for fishing in Destiny 2 right now.
On Cosmodrome. Best place.
There you go.
I like it. All right. Question from Sir not appearing in this film. Question for the Lazz. I'd love to know the backstory on how you became a follower of the Hammers. West Ham, not the Tool.
So for those of you that aren't aware, this is Mr. Monkey, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So I am a avid follower of the West Ham United Hammers. They are an English Premier League. What we call in the U.S. soccer is football over in Europe and England and all that. So my grandmother, my mom's mom, I never met my grandfather. He actually passed away before my mom even met my dad. So later on in life, she married this lovely British gentleman named George and went on plenty of adventures, like internationally and all that, because they had the money to do it. But one of the things that she said that she wanted to do was to get us into English football. So she sent 2 winter scarves to us. We were living in Virginia. We didn't need winter scarves, but who cares? And the 2 scarves were, one of them was like white and red for Arsenal, which is another English Premier League team. But the other one was this like maroon, or not maroon, I'm sorry, it's claret. Excuse me. That's the color they go with, claret, like claret blue and maroon for West Ham United. So my brother took Arsenal and I was like, I'll take the West Ham United. So because of a scarf, I'm a West Ham United fan through thick and thin. I know they're not the best team, but they're also not relegated this season, so I'm happy with that.
Question asked, question answered.
I like that. That's a heartwarming answer.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do one more and then
go to
let's
do one more?
Pipe?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay. All right. Question from Chubby Wizard 2.0. Question for the space lawyer. At what age did you discover your love for space law? And can you use your space lawyer connections to get us a space driving range to go with space fishing for next season?
At what age? Well, I would say it was at the age when everyone gets into space lawyering, and that's at the age of 18, when you're legally allowed to proclaim yourself as a space lawyer. You don't need any sort of degree. You don't have to take a bar exam. You just show up at the office and you say, I want to be a space lawyer. And they go, congratulations, you idiot. Here you go. Here's your designation. And you just space lawyer from there. You better call Saul it. You look like a doofus, but you turn out to be the smartest guy in the room. You know, that sort of thing. Geez, there's other question. That's a tough one with the driving range, you know? Yeah, we finally got fishing. You'd think if they could put the physics for fishing in there, they could simply just change the physics to make it so that you swing something around and swing back through. And, you just get some sort of legendary or uncommon or rare sort of prize from how far you're able to hit it based on, a simple button combination of press the button to swing back, press the button to swing through. If you time it right, it goes a nice distance. If it doesn't go a nice distance, you slice it off into the throne world and the hive come out and kick your ass.
Destiny Topgolf.
There you go.
Love it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm sleeping here. I got a question from, you'll know who this is. I know Hazel will.
What's up, my glove gloss? It's Hawkslayer here. Over here hanging out, waiting for my next lift. But, question for Hazel. Which beer did you like better? And beer specifically, I mean the stouts that we tried. Which one did you like better? The hazelnut stout? Or did you like the Toppling Goliath Rover Truck stout? I know which one I liked, but I gotta see which one you liked.
Yeah, you guys, for full disclosure, you guys hung out last week, right?
Yeah, we did. It was Friday when my wife was supposed to be flying out originally, and it did not happen. So, but we ended up hanging out, and my wife flew out on Saturday, and all good from there. Yeah, it had to have been the Rover Stout because that hazelnut one was like peanut butter cup stout kind of thing. Yeah, it was just overly sweet and just ugh. Yeah, it was a little rough. But I'm not a quitter, so I went ahead and drank it anyway.
Hence, you were a little lively that night on the show.
Was I?
Oh, no, you were great.
I was.
You did great.
I was.
I liked Happy Hazel. It was fun.
I was a little lit.
You were lit, all right. All right, Hazel.
Happy Hazel.
Yeah, I know. It was great. Okay, Hazel, what else we got, man?
All right. So, another one from Sir not appearing in this film. Question for the Lazz. Will we see Teox in game?
Oh, if anyone has ever seen any of my lore posts, they know that I'm a big advocate of Teox making an appearance at some point.
Wait a minute, who's Teox again?
So, background. So Teox is basically like the one who taught Savathun, Oryx, and Sivu Wrath.
This is the father, right? Or mother?
Sort of the mother, yeah, to an extent.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. I forgot, yeah.
No, you're good. But she's also the one that invited the helium drinkers into the osmium court to basically kill everyone.
That's right.
In the Books of Sorrow, she is constantly taken in by other alien species who are like, let's eradicate the hive. And she gives them info and they still can't do it. And last we heard from her was that she went back into like cryostasis, basically. So she's never really been mentioned in game or anything like that. It's just through lore. Will we ever see her? I would like to see her, considering that the three sisters, Xivu, Savathun, and Oryx, made like a pact on the mast of their ship before they became the Hive Gods that they would kill Teox. So I still harbor a little hope that she's out there somewhere. Like Des would be able to tell you, I think he probably remembers that I've had the theory that parts of Teox exist in Eris to some extent because she has that Ahamkara bone and wished to be able to survive the Hellmouth. And as we all know, genies work in very strange ways, and so do Ahamkaras. So there had to be some reason for her to getting hive eyes. It wasn't just she did surgery on herself. I don't think that was a thing. So yeah, I hope that she does like eventually like pop up, or we get something where Eris is like, oh yeah, by the way, the reason why I have all this hive magic is here she is. But I don't know if it's pertinent to the story anymore at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the sword that she had in D1.
Yeah, like, she like grabbed that and then nothing really too much came of that. It just kind of, was assumed she had it. That was about it.
Yeah, and everybody thought she was sus at that point.
And there's still plenty of people that think she's sus, but then Drifter showed up and then he was sus, so...
Took the focus off her. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So, the next question here is from Kogo. Question for Lazz. Do you have a favorite piece of lore since Lightfall that you'd like to share your knowledge of or would like to learn more about?
So, I read it earlier today. It wasn't in preparation for the show or anything. It was just lore that I was reading through. It was a slow work day. I'm a nerd. It's the things I do. So there's a bit of lore that kind of feeds into a little bit of, like, I think it's cutscene we've gotten where we see the Titan that's all mangled who tried to go through the triangular portal in the Traveler.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's actually a bit of lore out there. It's for a Titan named Joxer. And the lore bit is basically him and his ghost in their jump ship flying towards the portal in the Traveler. And then just as they're about to go through, it's about like the ghost is screaming. Joxer is like reliving past memories that he shouldn't be reliving. And then it like is supposed to end like a scream or something. And I know it's probably answers we'll get in final shape, but it's story bits that I'm like, what is going on with that? Like, why? Like, the witness made this like triangle and was like, I'm gonna enter you now. Ooh, no, that did not come out right. Wait,
I read that.
Sounded
lore.
really bad out loud. Oh boy. Goes into the Traveler, but obviously when another Guardian tried to do it, it didn't work. So that kind of aspect of why is that? Like, I'm somebody that needs to know the why, and right now we don't have that. So we have that little lore bit, we have that cutscene, and I'm like, why is this happening? And clearly it won't happen to us because we're the Guardian, but why doesn't it happen to us?
That was a powerful lore entry. That's off the ship that we get in the season pass.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, that was powerful. Who shared that? Was that you? I can't remember who shared that. I think that was Mr. Monkey.
Monkey shared it,
Yeah, that was disturbing, man. Because as he was going in, he started drifting. His ghost was in the present, but his mind went to somewhere else, like one of his past memories. Mm-hmm. And then by the time he snapped out of it, it was like it was too late. The ghost was screaming. It was very, very disturbing.
It was kind of like when we had the opening cutscene for Lightfall and you saw the ghost kind of getting sliced into bits or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what was happening there.
Yeah. Crazy, man. So much we don't know. Okay, one more, Hazel, and I'll grab another speak pipe.
All right. I'm going to save this one for next time here. So question for the Dun-Dun. Oh, sorry. Like Dun-Dun. Got to say it in the Law and Order style.
Oh, God.
If there was going to be a space law drama starring you, who do you want playing you?
Oh, damn. Who do I want playing me? Wow. That's a tough one because there's so many actors out there.
And then who would your wife want to play you? No.
Well, see, that's one thing, yeah. I'm sure I could say something and be like, oh, I think Ryan Reynolds would play me, and she'd go, yeah, right, okay, whatever. I I think based on my personality and my style of humor and all of that, Jason Bateman.
Great pick. I like that guy.
He's got that like laid back kind of like sarcastic comedy style that's right up my alley. So
he's got that nerdism too. He's got that nerd. You can tell he was probably a nerdy guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Here is a speak pipe from good old Hades.
Yo, what up, Hades here? I've had to stop mid-show to record this because what the hell? First of all, I'm driving down the road having to look at my hands to try and figure out how Gator is eating M&Ms between two thumbs. Not,
yeah.
I'd say like a normal person, a thumb and like your forefinger or something, but hey, why are you using both hands, Gator? You have 8 other appendages that you could hold M&Ms with. But then you went on to your yeah. I don't know who's worse. Gator with, I'm not going to torture you and say it out loud, Hazel.
I appreciate him.
Or Hazel taking apart burgers like a psychopath. What the hell, guys? How? I genuinely had to stop to question things. And I think the bit that's breaking me the most is the thumbs. I really hope you meant like a thumb and finger, Gator, but
yeah, thumb and forefinger.
That you didn't.
Thumb and forefinger is what I meant, yeah.
Yeah. So you've broken me on the way home.
You're welcome.
And when I get home and
we offer.
flop into a big mess of cryingness, I'm blaming you for it. But love you both. Love the show. Bye.
Love you, Hades.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. You were talking about last week how you dissect your hamburger. Deconstruct. I apologize. And I was at BurgerFi tonight and I said, you know what? I got to send this to Hazel. And it was a burger that I bit into whole. And I said, user manual for Hazel.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody ever have an existential crisis over M&Ms between their fingers.
I was picturing like her holding one single M&M with thumb and forefinger on each side. I know that doesn't give you much room to eat. I'm trying to do it right now, in fact. But it would slip out of your finger, wouldn't it, if you tried to do it with one? Anyway, we can go down a rabbit hole on that one, but...
I have not had enough gin for this.
We broke... The moral of the story is we broke Hades. You're welcome.
We broke Lazz, too, from the sounds of it.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Okay.
I was trying to get through his whole speak pipe. I was like, what in the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, it was last week's show. That's why I had to mention the context there, yeah.
That makes more sense, yeah.
It's just a service we offer, Hades. You know, what can I tell you?
Exactly. Existential crisis.
There we go.
You're welcome.
M&Ms and dissected burgers.
That should have been the title last week. Oh, well, anyway. All right. I'm looking at the clock here, Hazel. We're still good on time. What else we got, man?
Oh, okay. Question from Syzix11. Question for Lazz. I've been a day one D1 Hunter main, but just last week tried the Titan class in Destiny, and my eyes were opened as to how different the classes operate. Is there anything in Destiny you recently tried that's been in-game for a long time, but you are just now getting around to experimenting with?
Yes, so much like the testing with classes there. So I've basically been like a warlock from the get-go from D1. But then I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? I should really try the other classes. So was it like halfway through last year, I decided to main a hunter. And I cannot tell you how many times I died to, we'll call it to adventuring, because I thought I could float, and then I realized, oh wait, hunters jump. They have a double jump. They don't float. And so I would think I had the gap covered and I didn't. I would sometimes forget that I had Void Class on and I had invisibility. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Crap. And they're right with the whole like difference between the classes. You sometimes forget just how different they are until you start playing as them. And then like the number of times I've played as a Titan thinking that, oh yeah, their jump is very similar to Warlocks, and it's not. It really isn't. And it's not something that you'll find out until you actually try it. So I took a season to get used to a Hunter, and then I forget what that season was, but it gave me a new appreciation for the different non-Warlock classes, even though I'm back to playing a Warlock this season. And I do think that is the biggest thing you can get from the game, is just playing as the different classes and understanding that you cannot approach combat situations the same like as a Titan that you would as a Hunter, and so on and so forth.
Yep, well said.
Yeah, nice.
It's happened to me right now with my Hunter. Totally different.
You shouldn't have made that bet, man. I'm telling you.
I wish I would. I wish you were advising me at the time when Hazel sucked me into that bait. Yep. Oh well. It
should have been on my list of litigation, and it wasn't because I'm shit at my job.
Just add some more gin, dude. You're good. Yeah. All right, Hazel, what else we got, man?
Okay. I like this one. So from Holy Bird Grenade of Antioch, aka Blackbird. Question for the show. What is your most memorable Destiny moment? Was it a clutch, something hilarious, hitting that goal / completion you'd been grinding?
Is this for everyone?
Yes. We're done with the last question.
Okay, cool. Damn, I actually get some Destiny questions tonight. Perfect. Shh. Lazz, what do you think, man?
Snake. So, I do have one. I do remember this. Back in the Leviathan days of the raid layers, the names escape me. It was the raid layer with the giant Vex Hydra as the boss.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember the name of that one.
Yeah, it's the one that Gator enjoyed a lot, because that's the one that he loved.
What?
It was a shorter one,
it was
too.
The raid layer, yeah.
And the Leviathan raid lair with the
yeah.
Oh man,
I'm gonna make me look this up. Like,
I played that so many times. Yeah, I'll break up this pause.
No, it's so basically not Spire of Stars, Eater of Worlds.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Eater of Worlds. Yeah, it was fun.
So I don't. It's been a while. So the names of those, like, I remember it was somebody from like Fluffy and Nips's circle of, at the time, Discord folks that they all raided together, and I occasionally like subbed in. So we were at a point where we had the boss down to slivers of health, but we were all dying like one by one, because it's what you do when you're trying to do like the hero moment and stuff like that in the game. And God, I wish I could remember his name. We were down to the last guy. All the other 5 of us we were out of it. We had no tokens left. Sliver of health, and we all watched as he just floated up as a warlock. He had a shotgun, just blasted the boss in the face, and we got we all resurrected. We're like, holy shit, like superhero moment there. Like, you just shotgunned the boss in the face and killed him somehow. And
nice. Like,
those are the hero moments you live for in these raids. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've been on the I've been on the receiving end of that as well, where someone clutched it and we all spawned in. That's a cool feeling, man.
It really is, yeah.
For me,
shame they're dead. But yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. It sucks when you're dead, because all you can do is sit there and pan your camera to the last person that's alive and just give them the bbest of luck. But
I meant the hero moments are dead in Destiny.
Maybe. The one that comes to mind is it was like our second or third week playing in Kingsfall raid in the original Destiny 1. I I've probably mentioned this story before, but it was a bunch of old farts that I was in an old farts clan, and we were all struggling, and we finally pieced it together. We had Oryx down to just like one more pass, and we got him. One more round, and we got him. And the team just got annihilated. I think what happens, the guy in the middle exposed everyone, and they just got annihilated. So everyone's dead. Everyone's dead. We're like, oh, that's it. I can't try anymore tonight. I'm done. Well, good old Gator here had on his revive super and respawned. And back then there weren't revive tokens. And I revived everyone one by one and said, hold my beer. Let's go. And, yeah, that was a good feeling, man. What was that super called? Shit, now I gotta look it up. Were you,
Nobody cares. It was cheat codes.
All right. Whatever, Hunter. Or, I'm sorry, Tunter.
Get it right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was my hero moment. You have one, Hazel?
Yeah, I have two. Well, it's not just hero moments, but just moments in general that you'll remember, kind of thing.
Okay.
One was when I first solo flawlessed Crota.
Nice.
Solo flawlessed a raid.
Damn.
That was that absolutely blew me away. I loved it. And then the other one was actually like the moment that I realized that this game is kind of special was when I was running around the EDZ in the beginning and the walker falls down in Destiny 1 and I'm trying to fight this thing and I'm losing bad. And then I see two guardians running on top of the
roof,
the trailers, and they just jump over and they're just like fighting with me. And I was just like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yep.
So
I've heard that one
they were
before.
like level 13s or something. And I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah. I remember you telling that story. That's a good one.
Yep, exactly. That just sticks with me.
Yeah. Nice. All right, cool. Good question.
Good.
Yeah. Another one?
I mean, we can. Do you want to? I can hit up as many of these damn questions as you want.
I've got 1, 2, 3 speak pipes left. So you want to do a speak pipe here?
I guess. It's
okay.
Up to you.
We have a speak pipe here from Hawkslayer. I don't know what it's about, but I'm just gonna play it. Here we go.
Well, hello there. Well, Gator, you may not recognize this voice, but Hazel, I know that you will. But, hey Gator, how about them feet pics?
Okay, next question. Damn it, how did I want to get in there? All right, I don't listen to these folks before I play them. I have one here from Miner.
Dudes, this is Miner. Question for all the dads and for everyone listening. You can answer in the show feedback. So this weekend, the town I live in is hosting a big Memorial Day Little League tournament. There's like over 200 baseball teams here. And my son at his school, he had to do like a community service thing and prep the baseball and softball fields for it. Because he's not in it. He's too old to be in it. And so I went there, dropped him off at the school, gave him $10 because the concession stand was open. And I was like, here, it's just him and a teammate and a coach supervising both fields. So I was like, here's $10, buy you and your teammate a hot dog and maybe not be weird about it. And it just embarrassed the hell out of him when I said it. His teammate was laughing his ass off. So my question is, what have you dads out there? What have you guys done to just embarrass the hell out of your kids? Love the show, guys. Later.
That's a great question. I didn't think about that. Wow. Lazz, you got something? Well, your kids aren't that age yet where they're easily embarrassable, but I know Hazel's girl's probably getting around to that age. But do you have something like that, Lazz?
So, yeah, I think you're right. Like at ages 6 and 4, all the things that would be embarrassing to like your teenage kids aren't really embarrassing to 6 or 4-year-olds. Like, I occasionally will throw in like random like voices and stuff like that in front of like their, like if I'm picking up the kids from like camp or daycare, I'll throw in random voices and stuff. And really, it's not a thing embarrassing. The one thing that I can do that makes people think twice is, I don't even know if you'd call this an ability or anything, but I can squeeze like you can't really hear it there, but I can squeeze the air between my hands and get the lovely fart noise going there.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, they're not at that age where they're embarrassed. They're just like, look what my dad can do. It's great. I'm like, no, it's meant to be embarrassing. I gotta wait a couple of years.
My dad's my hero because he can do this.
Look at his talent. I'm like, I know.
Look at what I can do.
I'm special.
Oh man. What do you think, Hazel? You got something?
I try to embarrass my daughter every day. But for the most part, like, so my daughter is boy crazy. She's had like 6 crushes, like all school year and stuff like this.
Oh dear.
Yeah, really, it's fucking terrible. I can't wait till she gets older. Yeah, it's only going to get better, right?
No, it isn't.
Shut up, Gator.
I mean, continue.
But, yeah, so, she has a crush on this one boy. His name is Leo. And
you just embarrassed her now.
Well, so I'm like this, like, hey, you know, like, so what's his last name? And she told me, and I was like, nah. And she's like, what's so funny? And I was just like, well, I was like, last name sort of sounds like Burps. So we keep calling him Leo Burps.
Oh no.
And like, I guess that she ended up calling him Leo Burps at school, and he just thought it was the funniest thing ever. And she was like super embarrassed that she slipped and called him that. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dad, he's never going to marry me now.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, we've told her, like, you know, if we ever date in high school and he comes over, we're going to tell him that we called him Leo Burps.
Nice.
So
what parenthood's all about.
Yeah, exactly. I saw a meme in the funny channels that we have, and it was like me getting upset at my dad because he can't remember the name of something in the game. And then he was like, me now calling Minecraft like ugly Lego block game or something like this. And like it shows him like troll laughing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't think it was the thing though. Like with our parents, I think it was like they legitimately did not know, and they weren't doing it to troll us either.
They just were ignorant of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I made it a point to embarrass my kids every day. It's one of the great things of being a dad. And there was a point in middle school where they couldn't drive, and I had to bring them to school every morning. My wife's a teacher, so her school started before, so I had to drive the kids to school. And I was up early. I was already in a pissed off mood. I'm not a morning person. Most of you have figured that out by now. And I would get in that long line, that long loop. Everybody, all dads know this loop. There's this loop in front of the school. You got to sit in line, and one by one, the teacher opens the door, lets your kid out, blah, blah, blah. Well, my kids didn't want me to go all the way to the front door and let me out. That would be embarrassing. They're too cool for school. They wanted me to drop them off like before the school. I'm like, no. You having me, if I'm spending my time to bring you to school, my job is to get you set off right at the front door, and you'll stay in the vehicle until I stop at the front door. And I don't know how many times I did that throughout the year, but they did not like that at all. So too many to really mention. I still embarrass them today. It's a great thing. But yeah, I try to be hip around my daughter, and she just at 22. Oh, well, shoot, as of happy birthday, Lauren. It's her birthday right now.
Hey,
yeah. She's 23 now. Damn, I'm old.
Birthday.
I'm freaking old. Yeah, I embarrass her even to this day. So, yeah, pretty cool. Good question. All right. What do you think? Where we at tonight, guys? Want to do any more, or are we good there? Want to ask some more? How's everybody feeling? We're at 42 minutes in, just so you know.
It's up to y'all.
You know what? Let's go out with Lord Silent here. I have a feeling he's going to have some prediction, and since Lazz is here, this might be a good one. We'll go out with one more speak pipe here. Here we go from Lord Silent.
What's going on, guys? It's Lord Silent. So I have been playing a ton of this new season, and I have been really enjoying it. And I've been listening to a lot of lore lately and reading up on the lore because, why not? To help continue my search for, my theories and stuff and what's going to be happening. So I have 3 theories right now on what can happen in this season and the season coming. So with the new stuff that we've gotten from the dungeon and Oryx's body being found and Ikora's hidden finding out more stuff about Oryx's body and what's going on, the first theory I have is that since Salone is partially taken, I believe that Salone is going to become the next Taken King. Kind of like how in Sabathun's Two Truths and a Lie, that, the Taken King will rise again. Salone will, gain the powers of taking somehow, and she will become the next Taken King, and the Taken King will rise again. Second theory based around that is Oryx will become a Hive Guardian somehow. Because I know, in the lore, the Hidden are bringing his body to a secret base somewhere, and they're going to test him. So I'm thinking that the Lucent Brood is going to somehow get Oryx's body back, and they're going to force a Hive Ghost to resurrect Oryx. And Oryx is going to take over and come back and work with the Witness again. My third theory is that doesn't happen, and Salone just gets taken over by the darkness, and she becomes a taken human. And she could be like a new enemy type in Gambit, or whatever. That's kind of dark, we have to kill her over and over again in Gambit, but, it could happen. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on this. So yeah, have a good night.
Wow, it's a lot to digest there. Glad we got the right person here tonight. What do you think, Lazz? That's a lot. Lord Silent does put a lot of predictions in.
He does.
I figured we'd finish on that one because that might be a long answer. Or not.
Man, for a guy whose name is Lord Silent, he talks a lot, doesn't he? Yeah, there's a lot of... For anybody who wasn't like a Destiny 1 player, they're probably thinking like, who's this Oryx and why does their body matter? And you're like, ho, child, let me tell you. It's interesting, right? So he's got that theory about Oryx being resurrected by a Hive Ghost, but then turning back to the darkness, which I suppose is a possibility. But the big thing, again, when you're resurrected by the light, you don't remember your past life, which is why Savathun had to trick us into revealing her memories to her via us, because she didn't remember them. So if Oryx was resurrected, he would forget everything about his past and just know that he's a Hive who happens to have access to the light now. Unless there was some sort of elaborate scheme involved for his memories. This is where the fun can be had with theories like this, because there's no set path that Bungie has stated, oh, this is how it's going to work, so there's no other diverting from it or anything like that. It's all open to interpretation, which is great. And it's hard to get a beat on it. It really is, because we don't have all the information, it's all just theory at this point. So we don't really have any one direction we can move in. We kind of have to take everyone's theories and kind of throw them into a mixing pot and say, oh, gee, I wonder if this will work. Let's see. Okay, maybe that works. Maybe that doesn't work. But it's all in good fun, I think, honestly. And he's got some very valid points. And hopefully, we get more information this season and then over the next 2 as well before Final Shape comes into shape. basically.
Okay.
Nice.
Anything to add, Hazel?
No.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Lazz. I figured that would be one you'd want to answer. So me and Hazel will just look at each other and shake our heads and go, I guess so. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, everyone. Thank you for sending your questions in. And to our guest, thank you for answering them. And we'll be right back.
Guardian Downcast. Guardian Downcast. Yeah, Guardian Downcast. This is an intro. Guardian Downcast. Guardian. Not copyright. Guardian Downcast.
Thank you, Mr. Fudd. Hope you're doing well, sir. Well, this is the final segment of our show. This is where we pick our songs for our award-winning Guardian Downcast show playlist. It's a little sample of what the two of us and our guest Lazz here like to listen to, and we invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast show playlist on Spotify, and it's also on Apple Music for all you Apple folks out there as well. The links are down in our description down below. We have now 1,107 songs representing all of us and all of our past guests. The songs we've decided to pick since we started our show back in July of 2019. Call it a time capsule, if you will. So we'll start with our guests tonight, Lazz. What do you have for tonight, man?
So I've been on an Owl City kick lately, which thankfully my kids are too. So they call it the adult playlist. I'm like, it's not really adult, but okay. So they and I really like this song off one of their albums. It's called Unbelievable, which features Hanson.
I remember those guys.
Yeah, if anyone remembers some 90s music there.
Very cool.
Yep, some bop.
Yep, exactly.
You'd be amazed how if you listen to the track, you'd be amazed at like how much, well, obviously they're older, but you'd listen to them and go, that doesn't sound anything like them from the bop days.
Let's see. One of our patrons had a music pick for, and I forgot to play it last week, but Rafi had a music song he wanted to add, and just play it real quick here.
Hey, yo, what up? It's Ref. I totally forgot about this last month, but I'm remembering it now. The song choice of the month. I'm picking Lyrics Lie by Dance Gavin Dance. I randomly came across them again after years, totally forgot about them, and I listened to that song and I was like, oh my god, they killing it. So, yeah. Later, guys.
All right, there you go, Rafi. Thanks, buddy. I'll make sure to add it. All right. Hazel, what are you picking tonight, man?
Okay. I am going with a song from Zach Bryan called Motorcycle Drive-By. This was on the last, well, I guess part 1 of season 5 of Yellowstone. And I heard it and just immediately fell in love with this. And I just had to go ahead and add it to this playlist. And it's been on repeat here constantly.
Very nice. Tonight I picked a song that my buddy Mr. Monkey had referred to me. And the song is called Wildwood, and it's by Mr. Paul Weller. It's a good song. Check it out. All right. Announcements, Hazel. What do we got, man? You got anything to announce this week? Anything going on?
That's the shortest music episode that we've ever done right there. Sorry, I couldn't let it go. Okay.
Tell me to be brief.
Well, I was just saving you time.
I know.
Shit, I forgot what I was saying. I'm gonna throw out a raid.
Community raid, nice.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe a couple of them. So I know one of them I'm going to throw out is going to be on a Saturday in the around the early PM area. So that way, maybe get some UK people in there.
Yeah.
So
our European players. Yep. Yeah. Good.
Yep, exactly. And also, I'm going to throw out a scrim on a weekend too. So maybe a Sunday.
Good deal. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to mention our question of the month for May and June. This question of the month is, should we compare Destiny 2 to the original Destiny game? Why? Or why not? We're going to need your answers by Wednesday, June 28th So you have plenty of time to mull it over and give us some good answers. And we have actually a couple, one speak pipe I wanted to play tonight from Mr. Kingsley Mack. We're going to try to play some as we go until we get to that date. That way everyone will hear and get some ideas. So Kingsley Mack, what say you, sir?
Hello, Guardian Downcast. I normally wouldn't put in an answer for question of the month, clogging up the answers, but because of what I heard from Dimwee, and this is such an important thing to me, I figured I would actually put in my answer. Anyway, should we compare Destiny 2 to Destiny 1? I always think that's an interesting question because often people will mix up that question with, is Destiny 2 better than Destiny 1? Well, of course it is. But since the technical question is just about comparing it, not which one is better, I'm going to focus my answer around that. Yes, it's perfectly appropriate to compare Destiny 2 to Destiny 1, and I'm sure it's something that Bungie even does from time to time. They have, over the life of Destiny 2, actually brought some quality of life things back that were not in Destiny 2 right away. Now, the biggest thing that I compare all the time between the two is the overall storylines of the playable parts of the campaigns. I've gone back and replayed Destiny 1 campaign a few times, and I'm always super impressed on how simple, yet complex and awesome the overall universe building is there. By the time you get to the Taken King campaign, things really ramp up, and it's some of the best missions on the game overall. And I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing. It's not just a remember berries. I know D2 has better overall quality of life. Another example how I'm fair about this is the only raid I wanted to come back from D1 is Route to the Machine, as the other ones get boring pretty quick. Well, King's Fall's not that bad, but because of that, I still do realize when stuff in D1 is not great, like Vaulted Glass or Crota. Now, on Gator's point, I don't think bounties not expiring in D1 is one thing they should actually bring back. Bungie moved to a system that many developers have for daily and weekly engagement. You need to have something on the daily level to get people into the game, if one so cares to do so. You can first try and make the argument, well, why not just pick up the bounties daily and save them forever? Well, that's not truly daily engagement, just logging in to collect something. You need to actually be playing the game also. But anyways, yes, it is okay to occasionally compare Destiny 2 to Destiny 1. And just because we are does not mean we are ignoring better quality of life things in D2 or just have remember berries.
Thanks, Kingsley. That's some interesting points. I like that. We really thought that out. Good deal.
Yep. You can tell he wrote it down too.
And I knew he was going to mention my bounties.
Oh, come on now.
I still disagree. Respectfully.
Of course you do. Because it's not daily engagement.
All right. So if you have an answer to the question of the month, give us a speakpipe, speakpipe.com/Guardian Downcast, or put it in our question of the month Discord channel. All of the answers we get, whether from a voicemail system or in our channel in our Discord, will be put into a big drawing, and Hazel and I will have one drawing for a $25 Amazon gift card. Everything from the last month has all been sent out, so everybody's covered there. But our SpeakPipe answers will be entered into an additional drawing for some podcast merch, which, by the way, you can get from our store. It's on designedbyhumans.com. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and we have a lot of designs in there, which Snail Entrails, our artist, has made up in there, so we appreciate that. And let's see, I have some patron shout-outs. I want to give a shout-out to our Dungeon Champion patrons. That would be Scoot, Oh Hey Redneck, Technical, Toll the Bell, Raffy, Waffle, Mullet, Trash Panda, Nitro TJ, Darth Noodle, Nico, a.k.a. Jersey, Crow, and our OG Raid Boss patrons. That would be Jealous and Frostbite. Day one, by the way. They have been Raid Boss patrons. Thank you, gentlemen. The White Gnome, Shadow Flu, and TLT Tim. I keep doing that wrong. It's TL Tim. Sorry, Tim. Quick thank you to all our patrons out there. You guys know who you are. Giving back to our community and our show has been great. Hazel and I, again, thank you for that. Because of our patrons, you can enjoy our podcast commercial free. So please thank those gold badge members in the Discord if you get a chance. They single-handedly give us the option to not have to look for sponsors to fund our little hobby and community, and, provide merch and gift card giveaways to allow us to, and also allow us to use premium tools to create our podcasts and make things a little easier for us producing content. So if you're enjoying our little show tonight and you think you got some value out of it and you want to give back, check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/support Guardian Downcast. Link will be down there in our description down below. And can I say down any more times? There we go. And remember to leave us your Discord gamer tag so we can give you a shout out on the show. Well, I can't think of anything else, gentlemen. That's a wrap. Another episode in our collection. For our listeners out there, we have 201 other episodes with interviews from gamers all over our community. So take a look at those, especially if you're just finding out about us. And the only way we grow is you sharing our podcast with a friend that plays Destiny. So we'll thank you in advance for that. Mr. Lazarus the Lich, thank you, man, for coming on tonight. Been a great show.
Of course.
Dude, that was awesome. Thanks for expending your knowledge on our lore. And
yes, thank you.
Great conversations. If people were to look for you out there in the interwebs, how would they find you, sir?
So, the easiest way to find me, I'm in all the Discords still, for the most part. So, easy to find there. I'm on Twitter as @TheLazrich. And if you do decide to follow my golfing adventures, it's as par as the eye can see. That is how you'll find me on Instagram right now, which links to the blog when I do decide to write those.
Nice. Very cool. I didn't know about that. Nice. Good deal.
There you go, yeah.
Thanks again, sir. Appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely.
Hazel, where can we find you, sir?
Quick and easy. Hazel NT in all the places, except for Twitch, where I am the Hazel NT.
Short and sweet. I'm on Twitter, Todd the Gator, 2Ds, GATR, Steam, and PS5. And I have a YouTube account, Todd the Gator. I create videos to help new players, have opinion pieces from time to time. I do some live streaming also, usually on Saturdays and Mondays, usually in the afternoon or night. So just keep an eye on that live notification channel in our Discord. And we do promote from within our community. So look at that live notifications channel, as we have a lot of streamers in there. And stop by and say, hey, do us a favor. It'd be really cool. I have a podcast called the Destiny Help Desk, which does the same thing as my YouTube channel, but in an audio format. And yeah, so keep an eye on that. I have episodes out about every other week. And remember that this very episode posts to my YouTube channel as well, so you can listen to it as well if you like the YouTube format. So check that out. All right, before
this is why my outros are quick and easy, because yours are not.
I know. You're making up for mine. Before we go, we have a Scumdeath's Corner. So, Uncle Scumdeath, what is going on in the UK today, brother?
Hello, welcome to Scumdeath's Corner. I'm up early. I've only had like 4 hours sleep. So I thought I'd go to the local supermarket and get some ingredients. I was around my mate's house, the drummer of my band, last night. I was around his house and he made some like guacamole, beautiful food. It was really nice. So I'm like, right, I'm going to treat the girlfriend. I'm going to treat her while she's still in bed. I'm going to treat her. So I went to the local supermarket, bought all the ingredients, and I've toiled and tussled over it, made this thing. It tasted lovely. And I went upstairs, took it up to her, and I fucking dropped it on the floor. It fell off the fucking plate and it all dropped on the floor.
Oh, no.
What do you think? What do you think about it?
About what?
About me dropping her fucking dinner on the bloody floor. Well, it's not my fault. It's bloody...
In the loft that you were meant to.
Yeah, I was supposed to put the clothes back in the loft, but they were in the way of the door, and I couldn't open the door to get into the bedroom, and that made me drop all the food on all her summer clothes that we've got out of the attic. So, yeah, so Scumdev's not very happy, so, I'm trying... Is that toast on? I'll put it in for a little bit longer. Yeah, so I'm just trying to redeem myself by, good job, I've made enough for a second batch. Anyway, love you all. Really? Really? I'm trying to do a serious podcast here. Anyway, love you all. Mia, go away. What? Hold on. What? Love you. She doesn't, but I do.
Awesome.
And that's the last we ever heard of Scumdeath.
Yep. No, he put one in for next week, so he at least lived long enough for that one. Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, okay.
Stay tuned next week. Hey, everyone, remember as you're playing Lightfall and the Season of the Deep, remember to take breaks, get outside and touch that grass every so often, Hades. Hey, everyone, remember, we only get one playthrough in the world, so make it count. And more importantly, be good to your fellow Guardians in the Destiny universe.
Defeat is not surrender, Guardian.
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Get toddled.
Lazz, we lost Lazz. That was fun. I think the gin finally kicked in with Lazz. Oh my god, that was great.
That's the purpose of the gin.
Absolutely did. Hey, you did get that check, right? I sent last week?
I'm still waiting on it, but I get the informed delivery emails, so I will know about it in the morning.
Good deal.
All right.
It's our man. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bungie has a habit of doing this, for anybody who's unaware, where basically it's like they're building a house, okay? And then occasionally what they do is they just go in and they just tear the shit out of the floor just so they can put in a new one.
Yeah, they just whack off part of the roof. Like, we don't need that anymore. We're going to put something better up now.
I'm going to let our community have fun with that.
I mean, I'll edit that out. Don't worry.
So,
I'm trying to get over the fact that he said twiddling my joysticks.
If we didn't answer your question, we'll try again next year.
Next year.
God, I'm f***ing fading, dude. I am so tired.
How big are your balls?
My balls are pretty heavy, man.